But yeah, no, these are the generic store brand, which I'm not going to show you because I don't want to show you what, like, chain I shop at, but... All right, so we are going to be picking back up Theater Vaults. What's the name of this? And this fort is excessively laggy. So this will probably be the last couple hours of this fort that we're going to play right now. Just going to try and finish some projects. I mean, if you go to Walmart, probably, Frogfire. Like, if you want to see, like, monopolistic brands that have everything of a certain product, then yeah, go to Walmart. I don't shop at Walmart, so I shop at the local small chain that, like, isn't really found outside of Vancouver. So everything's a little bit more expensive, and in some cases a lot more expensive. But the ingredient, and also I'm not the sort of person, I will spend more money on a thing if I can get around the I can't pronounce any of these ingredients problem. If I can't pronounce any of the ingredients on the back of a bag, I don't want to buy it. But anyway, so this is probably the last time I'm going to play this fort, just because of how laggy it is, unless I can fix the lag. I've got all kinds of weird zombies in the caverns that are always trying to path into the fort. Also, I've got a ludicrous amount of liquid physics going on. I'm pumping lava from the caverns, and I'm also turning this entire river into obsidian, and blocking this river, and doing all sorts of other things. And I don't know why there's a dwarf out there. Why is there a dwarf out there? That dwarf's not supposed to be out there. Hold up. Why are you out there? Madunho? The hell, man? All right, well, let's give him a way in real quick. Dwarf, get inside. So anyway, that's what I'm trying to do right now is I'm trying to fix the lag problems in this fort. If we can fix the lag problems, we'll keep going with this fort. Otherwise, I think we're just gonna make a new fort today. Oh, that's nice of your neighbor. What kind of garden? There's 2 dwarves out here. Why is there so many dwarves out here? You're supposed to all be inside. What? Unless, like, they jumped out. That's bizarre. Alright, well, let's let those 2 inside. Or force those 2 inside. How's your dwarf doing? Well, the dwarves that are currently named in the fort are Bass Relic, Jimmy Tibby, Anander, Scoops, Casey, Space Pirate, Roark, Psychon, I Am Omnivore, Mr. Fabulous, Jack Nurick, who is euphoric due to inebriation and doesn't feel anything after seeing all kinds of dead bodies, and dreams of creating a great work of art in this dream was realized and you killed a zombie peregrine falcon. That's how Jack Nurick is doing. I can read into that in more detail after I finish reading. Arcray, Axon, Spiky-Haired Freak, Krabicus, Mark, Raz, Madunho, who's apparently stuck outside, Snail, Bastet, Cutest Ghost, Woogie, Pink Fluffy Llama, The Other Space, Battalier, Andy Barfunkel, Dragonman, Ilja, Navy, and Infinity. That is the current population of this fort, and I need to get these dwarves inside. So, you just gave her eggshells for plant food? So are you helping, like, actually plant stuff, or are you just giving her fertilizer? But kind of the current project that we're working on here is I'm trying to turn the entire surface of this into obsidian, and so that I can go into here and drain it, essentially, and fill this up with a lava moat instead of a water moat. But problem with that is the fort is just running so poorly that actually doing that is going to be an absolute pain. So that's the issue that we're starting with currently. But we're going to pull this lever and we're going to work on the other side. So as you can see, like, it's running at Maybe 10 frames a second. Maybe. What's up, Einstein Spy? Long time. The question is your name Techno? And do you have rockets on your bag? That's the question I have today. All right, so we're gonna let that slow down a little bit, and then we're gonna see if we can dig it out and make trenches and give us a lava moat, and also start working on this side. Oh, also I'm trying to drain the water down into the caverns, which is happening slowly. Yes, well that's good. I'm glad that your name is Spaceman and you have rockets on your bag. Not their best song, but not bad. You do am a spaceman? Well, that's good. You know, honestly, I think that Electric Callboy should be in charge of SpaceX instead of Elon. I think they'd do a better job. All right, so we've stopped pumping that. We've opened the gates up. Everybody's locked inside. We are cutting through that wall, which is going to take forever. And then we just need to wait for the lava to all cool off. You wish they made it to Eurovision? They're too crass. I would have been shocked if they made it to Eurovision. Like, I would have very much been surprised Pikachu if they made it to Eurovision. But that would have been cool. I mean, they've never been very good live. So... and with the high production that they have on their music now, I don't think they'll ever be fantastic live. I mean, they do a lot of work to hide their accents too, which is also not really a great sign. Right, so we can bring these dwarves inside now. What are you doing? Storing him in stockpile? You should just go inside. Dwarf. But yes, this fortress is excessively laggy. So kind of what I'm thinking is we'll play a little bit more of this, and then we'll found another fort in this haunted forest somewhere else in the immortal jungle. I mean, it is all a resurrecting jungle, so we'll have the same things going on, and we can, you know, do that. We'll see how it's going to be rated with the new stuff. I mean, like, the tour is starting soon, is it not? Like, they just announced tour dates. Let's just turn military stuff off so that they go back inside. Let things dry off. But yeah, if I can fix the frame rate today, which I will be trying to, we'll stick with this fort a little longer. Otherwise, today will probably be the last day for this fort, I think. And then we'll start a new fort, which means we might get to do a new fort today, which I think would be fun. What do you guys think, chat? Finish this fort up. Finish this cool construction project on the surface, which I should be able to do today. And then start a new fort. And then this evening, play more Shotgun King. Because I want to play more Shotgun King. That's kind of all that's really to it. I kind of want to play more Shotgun King. Because Shotgun King's cool. So that's the plan for today. $16,400. Can you elaborate a little bit more with those numbers? Because, like, the 16th of the 4th month. Okay, well, we're past that. So they're on tour already? What? Yeah, as far as, like, silly little run-based games. Okay, so, like, they're already on tour then. All right. But yeah, as far as little run-based games that have come out recently, I definitely enjoy Shotgun King a lot, and definitely don't really enjoy Peglin very much. So we're gonna play more Shotgun King. Is kind of the plan. So on the bright side, my river dam is starting to be efficient. And by that, I mean this river is starting to dry out which is good. It's still got a little bit of water at the bottom of it in some places, but in other places it doesn't. So we could actually turn this into a lava river, which is kind of awesome. We can also just let the rest of this water flow off the edge, which means I can completely just reroute it so that it flows off. And that'll fix some of the liquid physics by removing this path directly down to the caverns that we currently have, which is draining water down into here. Which, you know, is fine, because all of this water physics is also happening in real time. So yeah, no, this thing is a bit of a mess. You don't see you buying it? I wait for some patches. Like, I more or less rage quit the stream yesterday over that game. And not because the game was terrible or anything. It just wasn't very good. It's just kind of that simple. Where are you headed? You're constructing building? Okay, so you're gonna go rebuild that wall, and then I can release the dwarfs again. But yeah, Peglin's fine. It's just... That's all I have to say about it. Very repetitive. It doesn't have a lot of variety. Some of the combos are really fun. I managed to make a combo which one-shot myself, and that was pretty fun. But combos like that are pretty few and far between, unfortunately. So, you know. Unfortunately, with a lot of that stuff, you're stuck with diminishing returns if there isn't enough variety, and that game does not have enough variety right now. All right, let's get that walled off. Perfect. Okay, so part of the reason this fort is so laggy is if we follow this stairway down, there's all kinds of, like, annoying-ass jagged routes that I had to take to actually build stairs all the way down and into this fort. So, like, the entry pathing is terrible in this fort. And I'm not redoing any of that because, well, for lack of a better term, this fort is literally on the biggest aquifer I've ever seen. And that aquifer ain't helping either, so... yeah, I don't know. This fort's kind of a mess, unfortunately. You have a meh folder on Steam? Yeah, and Peglin's pretty firmly in the meh. I'm kind of surprised it has... I think some people are just really, really in on the theme, and some people are just dying for more Peggle, because, like, it does have a good theme, but... and it has potential, and might be great in 6 months to a year, but right now it's very RNG heavy. It's very easy. Like, I got to the final boss 3 times in a row and died to poor dice rolls every time. And it's like, it's not that hard. It's pretty easy. So there isn't much challenge or strategy to it. It's fine. I'm sure it'll be great when they spend 6 months adding stuff to it. What's up, Zoomzang? Hello. Welcome to the laggiest fort I've built in recent history. You have 200 games in the meh folder? Somebody buys a lot of Humble Bundles. That's how you accumulate meh games. Fortunately, apparently Dune Spice Wars is good, so that's nice to hear. Dwarven child cancels drink interrupted by giant olm. Why is there a giant olm in my fort, exactly? There is a giant olm in my fort. Well, that's not good. Go kill the giant olm, guys. Please. Anybody close by to go kill it? How the heck did you get in here? I guess probably through the water drainage? Yeah, looks like it. Huh. 1,500 games now? Yeah, someone buys a lot of bundles. How many games do I own on Steam? Although I intentionally not buy games on Steam. I own 763. But I've probably bought less than half of those. Lump, what up? It's good to see you. Most of those were given to me because press. That was so long ago, I don't remember what the frame rate was like in that fort. I mean, the act of actually draining the ocean was pretty laggy, but I think this fort's laggier, actually. This fort's so laggy because of all the undead things in the caverns that are trying to kill me at all times. That's got something to do with it. All right, so they have to deal with that, or it's going to come back to life. It might just not. Is it mangled? Oh, nope, it'll come back to life. It's just an Olm corpse, not a giant mangled Olm corpse. All right, so what we need to do now is we need to wait for this to finish warming up. And then what we're going to do is we're going to dig basically along this. Do that. That's what we're going to do. And we're going to connect the outside of this to this river so that it drains. And then we're going to dam the river, and we are going to fill this up with lava. That's going to be the plan. So this whole outside area here is going to get channeled. And we're going to have a lava moat. A drainable lava moat is what we're going to have. Full of a bunch of obsidian all of a sudden. And I don't know what I'm going to do with the obsidian, so we'll have to figure that out. But this is going to be how we defend the fort going forward, basically. But yeah, no, I'll be honest, that's part of the reason I don't bother buying a lot of Humble Bundles or subscribing to services like Humble Monthly, because I know that those are just games I'm not going to play, right? Like, I'm well aware and all right with the fact that I am not going to play those games. And if I look at a game and I say in my heart, I'm never going to play that, I just don't bother buying it. And that's been my philosophy for quite some time now. And I don't see any reason to change that, because there's no reason to purchase games that I'm never going to play, because I'd rather purchase games I'm going to play. There's no reason in asking for keys for games I'm never going to play, because I'm never going to play them. Like, it's just a form of digital hoarding at a point. I know some people like consider themselves video game collectors, but I'm sorry, you're not collecting anything. You're collecting licenses. You don't actually have the rights to any of those games. Those games do not belong to you in the slightest. So, like, what are you even collecting? It's kind of silly, in my opinion. So, yeah, I don't know. It's not something that I go out of my way to care about, I would say. Not something at all. Yeah, fair enough. But to me, it's the same reason I'm considering unsubscribing from Amazon Prime. If I don't use the service and I don't play all of the games, what's the point? And that's how I feel about Humble Bundle. Yeah, but I don't know. I live in this weird world as well where, like, I can't even gift games to people anymore because different values, different currencies. Also, I don't really have people that I gift games to, so. Hey, Aqua, how are you? Hope you're doing well. Hello. We are probably going to start a new fort today. I'm going to finish this Moat project and then retire this fort because it is cool as hell looking and I love it, but it's too goddamn laggy. It's running too slow. Well, we have Aquafunkalistic Booty Whap and Aqua. Well, I mean, I'm going to play like 9 hours of Dwarf Fort before I play Shotgun King, so like, don't worry about it. We got lots of time for dwarfs before I play Shotgun King. So, you're certainly not going to see any of that today unless you stay up all night. Oh, hey, we're fighting with a wombat head. Well, that's lovely. Where did it go? Probably into the lava, I guess? So, yeah, there will probably be Shotgun King tonight, but that's going to be way after DF. Because I've been streaming for about 2 hours, and we've been playing about, I don't know, 25 minutes of Dwarf Fort. And I'm going to be streaming for at least 12 today. So, excellent. Well done. Aquasar, well done on breaking your company's cloud. The question is, did they catch you, or did you get away with it? Or would you gotten away with it too if it wasn't for that meddling software? How deep is this lava? Pretty shallow, but it's draining. Kind of tempted to just knock a hole in the wall over here. You reported it? We're getting a bunch of calls about not being able to log in, so oh. So you had to report it with a oopsie smiley face. Oopsies. If your boss asks, you found a bug and fixed it, and sadly fixing it caused issues in the system. I mean, that seems like elaborating on the truth. But, I mean, generally when you do a thing that breaks a thing at work, your best response is, this smiley face. That was usually my response whenever my manager asked me to come in early for work. It was just, nah. Nah. I'm not doing that. That's silly. All right, Dwarf, are you brave enough to finish the job, or are you also going to be spooked by the undead turkey gobbler head? What was the food, Beerman here? Yay, this dwarf's finally brave enough to not get spooked. Could not find path to what? Man, that guy over there hasn't spawned back as undead yet. Wild. Technically true is the best kind of true? Sounds like something a politician would say. Technically, I didn't go back on everything that I said that I would do during my elections. Only some of them. Technically. Keep your vegetables in the oven. Salmon and a selection of root vegetables from the oven. Ooh. I don't know if this interests you, Beermanier, but I have a gardening room on my Discord now, called Planting and Farming. These are the root vegetables I'm working on. I know it looks like a big old pile of dirt right now, but those are gonna be potatoes. Those are gonna be beets, and that's red and green cabbage, but very BB red and beet green. They're very small, very much BB plants. It is something that I'm working on. I love that line. It is technically true, which is the best kind of true, and technically I didn't break any law. Technically you didn't break any laws. Technically. Growing your own veg? I have my own vegetable garden, and I have my own spices and herbs, and, well, actually it's my onions garden more like. So it's like I have that garden, which is a community garden, and then I have the one on my patio, which is actually a lot bigger than the most recent photo I have. Hold up. Let me go post a more recent photo. Just because this fort is laggy, so might as well just go post the most recent photo. Scroll through all the customer support. There's the most recent photo. I have posted the most recent photo in farming. room on Discord. This is my patio garden currently. These are all different lettuces. That's spinach. That's basil. Green onion, chives, and garlic chives. Rosemary, and those are all onions. And then that's just a big old thing of parsley. So, you know, and then mint up there, and then other types of tea, and then there's like 4 different types of mint off camera that you can't see. Yay, the game's done saving. Sweet. So that's my patio garden. I also have a bunch of kale seedlings, which are going to go in the bigger garden. Because my patio garden gets demolished by pests. Unfortunately. For one very logical reason, which is also very sad. And the very logical reason as to why my porch gets demolished by pests is my building uses pesticides on... Okay, I don't actually need to do this now. There's enough of the lava's disappeared. My building uses pesticides to keep pests out of the garden around my building, which is just flowers and crap. Even though I've asked them to not do that, they still do it. And they also demolish and kill every wasp's nest, which means no anti-caterpillar attack helicopters flying around, which are wasps, basically, right? Also no hoverflies, because if there's no wasps, there's usually no hoverflies. No soldier beetles or anything, so anything that caterpillars can get into, they will just get into and demolish. So my kale usually gets killed around July every year. And before you suggest, why don't you just spray it? That defeats the whole point of having your own organic garden. At that point, it's just easier to go buy non-organic kale, because non-organic kale is pretty cheap, but organic kale is expensive. So... I mean, honestly, if you're doing herbs, I would just go the easy route of, should be allowed out. Yeah, they're not locked in. I would just go the easy route of buying, seedlings, just sprouted seedlings. Why don't you beekeep your own wasps? I thought about beekeeping my own bees. Because I could get mason bees, but they were like, we don't want you bringing insects into the building area. I'm like, they're bees, though. And they're like, that's fine. We already have bees. I'm like, not enough. I mean, I would be totally fine with having wasps' nests around my building area. But the parents with children are not. Wasps are actually kind of wonderful. Wasps, spiders, all of those little anti-pest critters. You want to seed your own stuff for fun? Some stuff's really hard to germinate, too. Like, if you don't get anything popping up, or if you get too much... If you overseed, that's fine, because you can just pull out the seedlings as they pop up. But if you underseed, or if you have a hard time germinating, then just buy them. Be a lot easier. Be a lot easier on yourself. Also, if anybody has Dwarf Fortress related questions and doesn't want to talk about gardening, just feel free to chuck them in my chat, and I can help. Most of the stuff you grow is already germinating. Oh, that's good. I attempted cannabis this year outside, and they haven't germinated very happily, and I don't think they're going to make it very far, which makes me kind of sad, but it was a fun experiment. Seeds are pretty cheap, so... How do I feel about wasps? I love wasps. Wasps are wonderful. But wasps are like bears. You have to give them their space. As long as they are added... Do you have an... Wait, hold on. You don't have space to grow vegetables, but you have space to grow sunflowers? Dude, sunflowers grow to be like 3 meters tall. What? Oh, mosquitoes. Well, they're food for animals, and they stay away from me if I put the right oil on my skin. So I put the right oil on my skin, and I don't mind them. In areas where they are... very, 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 very dense. I just don't go to those places. But, I mean, don't get bit by mosquitoes. Mosquitoes, it sucks. I mean, I think I feel about the same about mosquitoes as everything, but, like, birds and spiders need to eat them, so bats need to eat them. They're important parts of the food chain, but, like, certain subspecies of mosquitoes should be exterminated because they carry diseases. I don't know. What do you want me to say about mosquitoes? Like, they're important to the food chain, but obviously I don't like getting bit by them. It's always a bother when a bear flies into your window. Oh, Canada. I mean, you know, actually, I'm thinking of two things after that sentence, Beerbidier. Just Canadian memes, and then also the Russian drop bears from, what was that? Was that Red Alert 2 that had the Russian drop bears? Shit, I can't remember. Whichever one had the Russian drop bears in Red Alert. I think it was Red Alert 2. It might have been Red Alert 3 that had that. Canada doesn't have counties. America has counties. Dwarf of mine needed wood for an artifact in your woodless embark, and now she's depressed and not drinking. Can you save her? Nope, she's dead. What you would have had to do is dig down to the... yeah, Canada has mounties, not counties. Get it right. You have to... Also, Axon, you got your head impacted by a Tanchming Dwarf in Long Death yesterday, and your head exploded. Sad times. Yeah, overthrown by the stresses of day-to-day living means that they're starving themselves to death. They're dying. So... I mean, I'm not going to answer your questions if you ask stupid questions. Einsteinsfy, so. Real head exploding and Dagora coming. Best of luck with your exam. Go graduate, man. No, it's a stupid question. Because you, like, invalidated your question with the dumb side comments. Ask a stupid question, get no answer. That's the way I work. Sorry, dude. Canada has provinces. Quebec is a province. British Columbia is a province. We don't have counties. Counties are like city districts in America. Canada we have city districts and we have provinces. We have cities, we have towns. That is lava. That's why the fort, part of the reason why the fort is so laggy. It's like asking if Canada has a president, Einsteinsfy. Come on. It's spicy sand, yeah. Well, I mean, it's probably, it might be turned into sand if you cool it down and grind it up. Ontario is like a very small portion of Canada, so I can't speak for Ontario. Also, Ontario really part of Canada? Come on. That's where the important shit. It's like our equivalent of the Vatican. They're like their own thing. Also, like, there's such a boring province that they had to, like, import entertainment by pissing off everybody. But I digress. So we're trying to drain this water out is partially what we're doing here. Trying to drain this water out and turn this lava from obsidian water into a lava moat with a drainable bridge. So once that's finished drying, we're going to construct bridges in it so that we can use that to drain the lava downstream if need. It did drain on its own on this half. This is the half that it was leaving the map. This is the half that it was entering the map. And this is my moat that isn't connected to the river, which I am in the process of draining, but it's currently cut off from the normal drain exit. So this half is draining. This half up here won't, because it's like got the equivalent of a beaver dam in front of it, except it's made of obsidian and a lot of dwarves instead of beavers. So yes, it did drain on its own. But this is not part of the river. This is something that I dug that I'm trying to drain out separately. What does the arrow pointing down mean? It means that if you go down a little further, there's a $5 footlong. I'm very funny. No, it's a ramp going down, like a ramp going from one level to another in StarCraft. And the ramp going up, the arrow pointing up is a ramp going up to the next level, so you can go down a level via the ramp, or up a level via a ramp, or up another level via the ramp, because the dwarves can't climb up sheer wall faces necessarily. Unless they're jagged wall faces, and then in that case, maybe they can. I mean, haven't you ever seen those t-shirts that are just like an arrow pointing down and it just says $5 footlong? You never seen those t-shirts? It's like the best thing to come out of that bullshit marketing campaign. Like, frankly. Right, literally, it was the best thing to come out of them. Subway is dead in Hamburg. You know, honestly, the only thing that shouldn't be dead in Hamburg is hamburgers, so. Also, a Subway should be dead everywhere. I think the rest of the world would benefit if Subway was just dead. Now we're just waiting for these dwarves to chip away at this obsidian. And they'll get it done eventually. It'll take like 10 years, but they'll get it done. We have a few bodies that we need to deal with. All this talk about footlongs is making you hungry? We should go sort that problem then. It just smells like it should be dead, but it's just their ingredients. Last time I ordered Subway, I was on my way home from downtown and I was really, really, really drunk. And I was drunk enough that I didn't realize that I'd ordered Subway. And this was before pandemic. And I put it in my fridge when I got home and then fell asleep. And then woke up the next morning extremely hungover. And was just like, wow, I'm really hungover. And then I walked into my kitchen and I opened up my fridge and there was a Subway sandwich in there. I was like, yay, thank you, drunk me. So I was very happy with drunk me for buying sober me or hungover me a Subway sandwich. But that was also just like the way that I get Subway sandwiches, which means it was like 80% vegetables. Because like that's all I really put on my Subway sandwiches is like, all right, I'll take all of the vegetables. A variety pack of every vegetable that you serve. Basically, is how I eat Subway. Oh, it's 15 hours until the next feed. Are you intermittent fasting? Well, I mean, it is good. It just means that the food in 15 hours will taste that much better. The problem is that you need to sleep in like an hour. That's the issue. Be careful with losing weight quickly. Remember that food is still important and you need to give your body nutrients. But aside from that, good job. Hell yeah. That is a problem I've never had to deal with, having to lose weight. I've always had the opposite problem of, oh God, I'm too skinny and I'm gonna die if I don't gain weight. And my doctor literally telling me to eat more. The last time I spoke to my doctor, she recommended that I eat edibles so that it would increase my need and desire to eat more. She's just like, consume more weed so that you eat more. And it's just like, imagine living in a country where your doctor tells you to take more weed. That's my life right now. Also, I need a new doctor. She's kind of psychotic. But, like, that's a different problem for a different day. You lost all your hard-earned fat again by getting sick? That sucks. Hopefully it was a swift recovery. But yeah, no, congrats, Science 5, for the 22 kilograms. That's not nothing. That's a considerable amount of weight to lose, so well done. Making sure these dwarves do this in the right order and don't trap themselves. Kind of surprised none of them have fallen into the water yet, actually. We're going to change the priority on this out here so they don't get stuck. Then do you just walk through the water? Oh, wow, they are. It can't be that deep, then. Oh, yeah, it's pretty shallow. All right, that's very shallow. You was, however, marvelously ripped for a brief time after getting sick because you lost weight. I think this is the wrong message to send to people during, like, the tail ends of global pandemics. Is, hey, get sick, kids. You'll lose weight and be ripped. It'll be great. Don't go get sick, Jet. It's bad. Stay healthy. You have the opposite pattern. You have to only eat 100 I have to only eat 1,000 calories to lose any weight. Yeah, I don't know. I've just always had problems with food and eating food consistently. So, I mean, the forest is growing back, but yes, we did burn the entire surface. I'm just trying to finish this lava moat project so that I can retire this fortress because it's probably something to do with all the dead things in the caverns that this fort's so laggy, and I don't see that getting fixed anytime soon. So we're just gonna finish this build project on the surface, and then we will move on to the next. Because like this fort is running too slowly. It's unfortunate, but it's just kind of the case. I discovered now that I eat food. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, isn't that literally intermittent fasting? Is just don't eat, forehead? It's just don't eat for long periods of time every day, and you'll lose weight. Duh. Like, I'm pretty sure that is, like, the whole concept for intermittent fasting is just don't eat. Unless I've, like, missed something. I don't know. I as somebody who has weight problems and not the normal weight problems, like the I'm too skinny weight problems, like I will frequently go below, like if I'm not careful, I will go below 50 kilograms. And I'm almost like, well, I'm roughly 6 feet tall, which in meters is like, what, 1.78 meters, I think. So it's like, I'm not short. And there's a zombie wombat up there. Let's go get him. I'm not short, and I will frequently drop below healthy weight levels if I'm not careful. So I'm kind of envious of people that are just like, oh yeah, I can just like blink and gain weight. Which is, you know, like, then people get not upset with me, but people don't like it when I say stuff like that because I'm just like, well, I mean, I frequently am very unhealthy because of lack of body weight. And people are like, well, you can take some of mine. It's like, I'd love to, but I can't. I don't know. It's a weird thing to complain about. Drinks oil to hold his weight. Now, see, that's very unhealthy. Fuck that. I mean, yeah, I guess I could just eat a brick of butter a day, but that would kill your cholesterol. That'll just kill you in other ways. Used to mix raw eggs into his milk. Out here, that'll give you, what's it called? Salmonella? There's several diseases you can get from doing that. Here, you'll get salmonella from that. Just, maybe not where you're from, but here, yes, you will get sick if you do that. They are beating the crap out of that undead wombat. The Hammerlord bashes the wombat corpse in the lower body with a silver warhammer, bruising the muscle. Like I said, if you do that here, you will get salmonella. You shouldn't eat raw eggs here, period. It's like eating raw chicken. You just shouldn't do it. It's specifically the egg whites. You eat egg whites here, like raw egg whites, you will get sick. It's one of those things that it's like, you kind of need that caveat when you're going to talk about it on the internet, because you might give people the wrong idea, and depending on where they're from, you could get very, very, very sick from doing that. It's differences in how the eggs are packaged, what the chickens are fed, how the chickens are raised, what environment they're raised in, how close to what they're raised, and like where the locations of their barn, like. I mean, but here's the thing though. You can buy unprocessed eggs, right? You can do that here. You can buy unprocessed eggs that have no cleaning process done to them. You can absolutely do that. They cost more money, but you can do that. So, I don't know. Been living on your own for a while and would have been gaining weight and can't tell if that's due to not walking and exercising as much or due to the only place within walking distance to get a quick bite is 7-Eleven. Yeah, that's really fucking sad that 7-Eleven... Well, I mean, 7-Eleven has, like, bananas. I mean, I live off of 7-Eleven when I go to conventions usually, and which is also why I'm not going to conventions this year. But you can get, like, juice and bananas and, like, healthy-ish food from 7-Eleven. Like, they don't just have, like, fucking taquitos and mini tacos. I think they got other things. You can absolutely get food that's, like, not gonna kill you bad for you from 7-Eleven. I mean, obviously they have food that's really bad for you, but they've got other things too. There's a fantastic bodega / sandwich shop right on the corner, but it flooded last summer and it's been closed since. Oh no, that's sad. There's an area pretty close to me that usually has a few food trucks that are pretty good. You know, so hold on. I'm going to show you guys my YouTube dashboard for a second. This is the creator insider thing. And this is like a video on like how to understanding your analytics. So they explain what all the numbers mean. So it's useless to me. This looks like a mugshot. Like YouTube, come on. Like I don't know who this dude is, but like that's a YouTube. You want me to think that your like informational videos are useful? Don't give me the worst thumbnail I think I've seen in the history of maybe ever. Like just don't do that. Don't do that. Literally, the dude looks like he's being arrested for something. Like, the way he's looking at the camera in that photograph is just horrendous. Like, gosh, I would be embarrassed to have my picture looking like that. That is awful. Absolutely awful. It's literally like an internal YouTube video made by YouTube itself, like explaining how their analytics works. And the dude looks like he's about to get shot. Yeah, well, it's like it's a new state prison volunteering opportunity. You have to explain analytics to YouTubers. God, it's ridiculous. Prison analytics. I mean, I watch a vlogger, which is life since prison, which is a pretty big YouTube channel, and it's literally just he talks about what his time was like in prison, spending 30 years in prison, and then what it's like after being in prison, trying to like reaccommodate into society. It's like weirdly, like it's kind of a weirdly big part of YouTube, actually. People that went to prison and are now just like having successful vlogging careers. It's kind of strange, but there are weirder places on the internet. But yeah, we are going to wait for all of this lava to dry up, and then we're going to do the same thing that we're doing on this side over on the other side. And if I absolutely need to, if there's still like water in here, I will just pump the water out. We'll just build some pumps and pump it out manually. Shouldn't be too difficult. And then the river on the bottom side is just drying, which is also helpful. So. You can make a prison analytics video about a prison in the bar. Oh, like for dwarves? I had to like rewire my brain for a second there to realize what you were talking about. I was like, prison in the bar, what? I mean, no, not really. I'm not, I wouldn't want to openly mock a video for that only people who make videos on YouTube know about. That's kind of a bit of a niche thing to make fun of. Not really the kind of content I like to make. Investments are open if you want to invest your tickets, chat. If you care. I just want to highlight that I think it's kind of funny that a couple of my viewers from the Netherlands are like, it's a holiday tomorrow, so nobody's going to tune in from the Netherlands. Yet I think I've had more than average people from the Netherlands tuning in today, which I think is kind of funny. Oh, also, I would like to inform all of you of the very important news that tomorrow Dwarf Romantic comes out of early access. So, just wanted to inform you of that very important news. Because it really is very important news. Hey, Tyga. Hope you're surviving. Most of us only celebrate that holiday to day drink. I have a question. Why in the world does anybody celebrate any, like, national holiday? It's either to blow stuff up outside or drink. Like, Canada Day. There are two things you do on Canada Day. You drink beer and you set off fireworks. So, like, It's the... so I learned yesterday that Holland has a king. Because I had no idea that you guys had a king. And it's the king's birthday. Like, literally yesterday I had, like, the biggest I'm an idiot moment I've had in a minute, where I just kind of sat there and went, oh, they have a king. Huh. All right. Cool. You forget about it most of the time? I forgot about Canada Day until the day after last year, so for whatever that's worth. It was like, yesterday was, like, my parents told me, they're like, but yes, yeah, we because, like, me and my mom and dad were supposed to do a thing, but then we didn't do it. And then my mom was like, well, yesterday was Canada Day. I was like, oh, right. That's why my neighbors were being loud. That explains a lot. It's 9:30 p.m. and about to start doing your job because procrastination? Well, I mean, everybody works at different hours of the day. I'm just staring at laggy dwarves, and then we'll probably start a new fort later today. Apparently, Stone. Sorry for being surprised, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't surprised. But, you know, we all learn things every day. Like, today, Einstein learned that Canada doesn't have counties. Except for Ontario, but they don't count. And we have provinces. And I learned that Holland has a king. He's apparently an airline pilot. He was born in 1967. So, you know, we all learn things every day. Some at faster rates than others, and some make you look stupider than others. No, we don't. We have, like, a stand-in queen who belongs to Britain and their shenanigans, and, like, she's, like, our adopted great-aunt. Is Canada's queen. She lives on our money, and we permit her to be there. It's fine. But I don't particularly consider her to really be our queen. It's like, yeah, on paper she is, but not really. Technically, we have a queen, yes. But does any Canadian actually give a shit about the queen? Not really, no. Although, frankly, I'd rather have a queen than... I'm not going to finish that sentence. No, this is Crimson Pulley. So I did Long Death yesterday. Long Death is has much better frame rates than this fortress, and is hundreds of years old. Whereas this one's only I started this one last week. And your prime minister? No, I wasn't gonna go in that direction, but I was gonna talk about my neighbors down south. Or I guess also technically north, because Alaska's north of me. Queen ain't trying to ban abortions, I'll put it that way. So I'll take the queen. It's fine. She can stay on our money as long as she's alive. Although every year I'm always shocked. The queen's not dead yet? I keep on expecting to, like, wake up one day and just hear, oh, the queen's died. And I'll be like, oh, finally. Which is really mean, but it just kind of shows how much I care about her. By that, I mean not at all. He's been threatening to light up a few places recently, which is a little strange. It's like as if your forces weren't stretched thin enough already. Like, he really has completely lost it. But yeah, no, so Long Death, these days, I'm kind of doing on Tuesdays. And I do about 6 hours every Tuesday, about a year and a half of time in that game. And then the rest of the week, I play in either... in my various other saves. And currently the save that I've been playing on a bunch is part of a faction called the Crimson Pulley, where we're trying to rebuild this faction, which is a mountain-locked faction that's stuck all the way up here. And every fort that I've done has been trying to build forts out here. Only one of them has been destroyed, which was this one, which was Theater Vaults. This one down here is Uniontheater, which is what we're currently in. And we also did Hotbeards and Mothfall. And this is like my... I guess, 5th fort in this world. So. That is a very strange way to refer to dying, but okay. We're probably stuck with her for another decade. I mean, maybe. I don't know. Like, she's had an impressive life. I'll say that. And I'm also always impressed by how cognizant to reality she still is. Like, she is not young at all, but acts younger than many politicians. How old is she? She's in her 90s. She's like 96 or something, is she not? So, you know. I apparently need to use the restroom. I will be back in a moment. You can only have one fort that you actively control at a time. But you can, when you retire a fort, the fort stays in the world, and the AI takes over, and you can go back to it later if you want. But your dwarves will become part of the world's global simulation and move from place to place and go get new careers, and they will continue to age. You could also retire a fort and then go visit it in adventure mode. So if I wanted to go back to one of my old forts, I could go back to one of my old forts, etc. The Dwarf Fortress is a game about like interacting with a simulation, right? So if you are also, I just realized that your name is Bacon Cow. Bacon comes from pigs. How the heck do you get bacon? Anyway, can you make cow bacon? Is that a thing? That will improve FPS? What does that have to do with frame rate? What? Like retiring it and coming back? No, it'll be about the same as it was when you left. Although I wouldn't retire this one and come back to it because the water will be in different places. It should be bad. There's turkey bacon? I know there's turkey bacon, but now I'm wondering if you can make cow bacon. But yeah, no, it's got nothing to do with frame rate. It's just the structure of the game. You can only run one fort at a time. You can either run a fort or an adventurer at any given time. You have to retire. So if you want to move to something else, you have to retire it or abandon it. If you abandon it, that destroys it. If you retire it, that just, you know. Oh, hey, the elves are here to trade. Yeah, the reason the frame rate in this fort is so bad is because there's undead things in the basement that are trying to path out, most likely. Not to mention this Forgotten Beast, which is a large eyeless crocodile with a swinging trunk, and it is ravening. Beware its fire, which I'm just kind of avoiding. Just because I don't want to deal with it, I'll be honest. Of the name cow bacon? Well, now I do because you've mentioned it. What, for the oldest royal or the oldest person? Jitterbug. Besides, did you know that you can pay the Guinness Book of World Records to erase their top record so that you can get a higher record than them? You can also pay them to make a new record that doesn't exist. So you could be like, I'm the first person to own, I don't know, 500 rubber ducks. And they'll be like, oh my God, it's the world record. Blah. But they don't do any research to see if anybody else elsewhere in the world owns more. Von Roland, thank you very much for agreeing with me that I'm the only person in the world to definitely own 500 rubber ducks. And for subscribing with Prime for 50 months. Welcome back. Cheers, dude. Thanks for keeping that sub alive. Cheers. Tink. Remember to play DF with the mouse. Speaking of bacon, what's up, Making Bacon? Now all I need is Battle Bacon to tune in, and then we'll have all of the bacon names in chat. Although I haven't seen Battle Bacon in like 5 years, so. Wonder what Battle Bacon's up to these days. You just had to put up with a pre-roll? Oh, probably because you hadn't punched in the Prime thing again yet. I was gonna say, what the fuck? The hell, man? I mean, with Twitch talking about, or with that Bloomberg article talking about how Twitch might be focusing on more ads. Psh, surprise, Pikachu. I think I might just unsubscribe from Amazon Prime and get Twitch Turbo. That might be something I do this year. Do I need Kevin Bacon to watch as well? Nah, Kevin Bacon's too cool. Instead, I would rather watch Kevin Bacon in Tremors again, because Tremors is a great movie. Well, I mean, this is actually draining pretty quick now with this change, so that's good. Let's also just whoop, go all the way along here. Same with that. Let's just make sure we do this side first. Although Bacon is actually kind of not a great last name to have around here. Uh-oh. Did you just catch Fire Dwarf? Kaboom. No, that's just steam. We're good. No smoke. Having the last name Bacon is actually pretty bad where I'm from, because some of the most notorious violent gangsters here, there was a family of them and their last name was all Bacon. They're all in prison now. But having the last name Bacon is actually a bad thing for where I live. Also, I know that you said pre-roll ad is in like an ad that you get before tuning into the stream, but in my mind, it's actually a cannabis pre-roll ad, which would be funny. You know, I was thinking about this recently, right? A lot of people talk about how they watch YouTube so that they don't need to see as many ads. And it's just like, half of the YouTube videos I watch have a sponsored segment in the middle. And if you're also watching like 2 or 3 YouTube ads throughout the video, maybe at the beginning and the end, we're almost at the point now where YouTube has almost as many ads as cable TV did. And you know that they're trying to insert more. And Twitch is becoming the same way. Kind of sucks. Not gonna lie. Kind of just sucks. It's like we all went onto the internet to get away from all of this, and just a pre-roll made from flu with what? I'm gonna stay far away from that pre-roll, thanks. But, you know, because I haven't said this enough today. Chat room, thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in today. Watching the channel. Hanging out with us. You're honestly hoping to pull an all-nighter today? I feel like you said this last week and then didn't do it. I like not being asleep at night. Would prefer night shift probably, but it really isn't viable for a teacher. What time's school done? Tygo? Flu is like COVID. Although flu is technically a cold, but flu is like you're sick and throwing up. So, if you say that something is made from flu, that means something very different in English. So thank you for clarifying. True. Okay. Fair enough. I mean, we are getting to that point, though. We are getting to that point. So if it, well, what, like 4 p.m., 3 p.m.? I mean, you could, like, go to bed right when you get home from school, wake up at, like, midnight, like, right when you're done teaching, get home, go straight to sleep, and then wake up and do all your prep work in the morning. You could absolutely do that. I mean, when I worked stupidly early mornings, and by that I mean I would have to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go to work by 5 a.m., and then I'd do 5 a.m. to 1 p.m. shifts, and I'd be home by 3. I would be in bed by 4, or sometimes even earlier if I got home earlier, and I'd go to bed at 3 p.m., and then I would wake up at like 11:30 to midnight-ish, and then I'd either play games or do other things all night, and then I'd actually wake up in time to go to work. Otherwise, I would just sleep through the start of my shift, and I'd never make it to work in time. Back in the early 2000s, you were in Hawaii and you saw a Macon Bacon poster near a beach market, and I wouldn't describe the poster's content, but I told your high school friends about it and ended landing you the nickname Bacon, which never went away, and I added cow later to make it unique because friends liked cows at the time. Huh. Well, I mean, you have a name that doesn't have a number at the end, which means you're the first person to come up with it on the website, which is pretty cool. So that's good. I always love the backstories behind usernames, because especially when there is one and it's not just, I came up with it. I don't know. I like usernames with a backstory, because backstories for usernames are fun. Your name definitely has no numbers, Stone, a.k.a. Seashore's Wall. You are the first person to come up with your name. Beermanier 2? What'd you do with Beermanier 1, and is the body still in your wall? I'm kind of sad. Not that many people are watching the video I put up on YouTube this morning about the game One Man, 6 Bullets. Here, I'll just link it in chat. This is one of the most satisfying game loops I've found in a game ever. I'm not even linking my video, I'm just linking the game. It's such a cool fucking game loop. Just go watch the GIFs. If you're looking for like a cool ass little top-down shooter, that thing is so fucking neat. And it's free, so. I don't have anything to sell to elves that I really want to sell, so. I could sell them gems, that's about it. Your brain just went nope, and you woke up in the morning not remembering how you got under the blanket? I mean, it's probably good that you slept, to be honest. Yeah, maybe I would try that shift, is just try going to bed right after you finish school, and then just wake up in the middle of the night. I mean, I did that kind of shift for about a year when I worked stupid early mornings, so. It's super neat. Like, the fact that you have to catch your bullets to reload kind of makes the whole game loop, in my opinion. But I put up a video on it this morning. It's gotten like 60 views since it went up, which means YouTube isn't promoting it, which is what it is. Maybe they will. I mean, it took the Peglin video like 12 hours to get booted into the algorithm, so we'll see if this one gets booted into the algorithm. YouTube's been promoting my videos recently, and so it's like I'm getting views outside of where I normally do, and it's weird, but I like it, and I hope it doesn't stop, because it's the most growth my YouTube channel's had in maybe ever. Actually, Stone, you'll like this statistic. My YouTube channel in the last 30 days has received 1.7 million impressions on my thumbnails, right? So that is the number of eyeballs or IP addresses that have been on a page with one of my videos as recommended, right? Which is a massive increase from previously. So in the last 28 days, 1.6 million impressions on my thumbnails, right? But that's 67% more than the previous 28 days. That's the stat that Stone will like. The 67% more than the last 28 days. If only it was 2% more. 67 is Stone's favorite number, so. I mean, at the rate it's going, maybe it will be. It's like Kyrian 17. Yeah, go pee on your eye addresses. Naturally. That's what you do, right? Alright, the water's all down to 2, meaning I can almost block this off. Nice that this water's all draining, though. It's really nice. But yeah, this is just going to be a lava moat. And then I'm going to take a nice screenshot of it and be like, I'm proud of this fortress. And then I'm going to make a new fort. Your fortress attracted no migrants this season. I wonder why. There's zombies everywhere. Actually, it's because I'm at my unit cap, I think. Yep. Cap. I mean, if I could just get a 67% increase in all of my statistics every month, I would be pretty ecstatic, actually. Yep, that's the #1 way to find me, Bacon Cow. By going to YouTube and typing in Dwarf Fortress Steam. That's, there was one like, I can't even remember how this happened. I was depressed and drunk one day, earlier this year. It was like January, I think. And I was in a bar, and this guy asked me what I do that I was talking to, and I told him. And he called bullshit. He's like, I've just had people tell me that before. Like, I don't believe you. I'm like, look up Dwarf Fortress Steam on YouTube. And it's like, is that you? Like, yeah, that's me. Fuck, you're legit. What the hell? You're not lying. I don't know why people would lie about being a YouTuber. It's like intentionally embarrassing yourself, but here we are. Gosh, this fort is laggy. But yeah, no, I am the #1 news source for Dwarf 40 related content. And it's basically just me talking about that stuff. There's one Russian account that does sometimes, although I haven't seen them in the algorithm recently for probably obvious reasons. This YouTuber blind is a very similar... No, it wasn't the bartender talking. It was another patron. Monopoly? I do kind of have a monopoly on the Dwarf Fortress Steam search tag. It's literally the only reason my YouTube channel does as well as it does. And now the first impressions videos that I have time to do, because I'm streaming 3 days a week instead of 5, but way longer hours. So if you're new here, I stream Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays for about 12.5 to 13 to 16 hours, somewhere in that window. Somewhere between 12 and 16 hours, those 3 days. And because I'm doing that and streaming about the same amount of time, if not more time, than I was when I was streaming 5 days a week, but it's condensed into 3 days, and then the rest of the time I can do other stuff. I actually have time to put up pre-release videos for YouTube. Like tomorrow I got a Dwarf Romantic video coming out. Videos like the Peglin video that I just put up, or the Chess is Stupid, or the Tile Cities, and all that stuff. And those videos get booted into the algorithm for some reason. So it's nice. My YouTube channel's actually gotten some growth recently, and hopefully it keeps up, because gosh, I need to advertise this. Oh, Giant Olm kind of resurrected eventually, it seems like. Where did it go? Giant Olm corpse, where are you? Oh, there you are. I like how it's walking out of my trash compactor. All right, let's go kill the Giant Olm, please. The undead Giant Olm. Looks like we're going to get a valiant duel between Space and the undead Giant Olm. Seems to be bashing it in the front foot, shattering it. The Hammerlord kicks the Giant Olm corpse in the right front leg. Just kicking him. Just shin kicking him. Hammerlord scratches the Giant Olm corpse. That's not going to be very effective. The Hammerlord bashes the corpse in the head with the named hammer, bruising the muscle, jamming the skull through the brain, and tearing the brain. So that would have killed it, but it's a zombie. Looks like other dwarves are coming to help. And it's dead finally. The Hammerlord... The Hammerlord bites the Giant Olm corpse in the head, tearing apart, and the injured part is torn apart. Literally bit it to death. The killing blow on the Giant Olm was the Hammerlord bit it. It's all those biting demonstrations. I still can't get over the dwarf that bit the undead turkey to death, though. It was an undead turkey, and a dwarf bit it in the neck, and its head was cloven asunder. It bit the turkey's head off. The dwarf bit the turkey's head off. Like, I can't get over that. It's just too silly. Absolutely silly. Hungry dwarf? I guess. And the only thing that the dwarf thought about when that happened was, I don't feel anything about this. Guess it didn't taste like much is all I'm trying to say. We're just going around the edges, slowly finishing this project. What's the dwarf's name? Ozzy Osbourne? I think the dwarf's name was like Mathol or something. I should have named it Ozzy. That would have been a good name. But that would have had to be like a giant bat's head, though. Although my favorite version of that is when Max Sabbath bit a McChicken in half. It was horrifying. He bit a whole McChicken, chat room. I don't think you fully understand the gravity and distress that he put that McChicken through. Also, Max Sabbath, probably my favorite parody cover band, just period. They're the McDonald's-themed Black Sabbath cover band. If you're unfamiliar with Max Sabbath. They're very silly, but very funny. And in one of their music videos, he takes a McChicken and goes, and then pulls it in half and goes, ah, like that. It's very funny. Because he's dressed up as Ronald McDonald, naturally. I like parody cover bands. They're funny. All right. Well, I swear that the amount of water back here went up. That's concerning. How about the water down here? So there are corpses down here. I'd like these corpses to be booted. They've already been mangled, though. We already killed them. Kind of expecting to get sieged. Because I've been working on this for so long, and it's like, all right, where's the enemy? It's been a couple years since the last siege. I don't even have much news from what's going over by the goblins. Actually kind of weird. Rotten Beast kicks the cave crocodile in the neck with its right front foot. The injured part collapses. Imagine your neck collapsing. Ugh. Kind of brutal, actually. Hey, Space Pirate, how's things? We're probably going to start a new fort today. I'm just trying to finish up this lava moat project, which I'm not too far away from, because the water is draining at a relatively decent pace. Then we just need to finish digging this out and then fill her up. And we've got ourselves a lava moat. And then I think we're going to go start a new fort in this world. Not because, like, I don't like this fort or anything. This fort's fine. But it's just too laggy. It's just... It is brutally slow. Even for one of my forts. Mostly the culprit, I would say, would be the massive aquifer that I had to dig around and through to actually get into the fort. So that was probably a large portion of it. Because this world has one of the biggest aquifers ever, and because it goes halfway through one of the caverns, there's all sorts of weird things going on in the caverns. Plus just the fact that we're pumping lava from the ground, and yeah, it's just runs too slow, so, which is unfortunate, but it does happen sometimes. It's still playable, but it's just, want it to be better. So we're just going to finish this moat project, and then we're going to go do something else. So that's the plan for the day. But how's Space Pirate? How you doing, man? What's up, dude? Got cave toads fighting with that forgotten beast down in the basement. Doing okay, dealing with some depression. Overall, you're getting through it, though. Yeah, been there, done that, got the t-shirt. Depression's no fun. Do you know what the cause of it is, or is it just something that you're doing guesswork with? I feel like that's usually the case for me. It's like, just kind of half guessing all the time what's causing it. I'm surprised I haven't had any dwarves get caught in lava yet. Did you just get... No, you're still good. Yeah, I haven't lost any dwarves to, like, falling lava. Even though, like, this whole area is, like, covered in lava. It's kind of crazy, actually. Although the lava is getting less constant, so that's good. It's mostly just stress from work. Yeah, I get you. I understand. All right, so this is all going to be... I think we'll just... Fuck it, we should do this with green glass. Because that'll look cool. A glass dam. And then if for some reason we need to remove it, we theoretically could. We could drain it. We'll just do that because it's a quick and dirty fix, though. Quick and dirty. How's the water? I'm starting to see the bottoms of the water in places. Spots where the water's drained. Not entirely, then at the very least partially. Let's cut those trees down if we can. Even if we can't, that's fine. I think we should also give more dwarves picks, but... I know I have plenty of picks. Yeah, it's something I'm starting to wonder when it comes to, like, just depression is figuring out what the trigger is. Or something that I've been trying to do. And, like, my most recent suspect is just overworking myself. Because since I've cut back on my shifts, like, my depression has gone down pretty significantly. Oh, there's villains. Undead variant. Who died yesterday. Let's see, do I have... Memorial? No, I don't. Okay. But as, like... as I've paid more attention to it, and tried to figure out what causes my depression, from what I can tell, it's got something to do with... From what I can tell, it's got something to do with me overworking myself. If I force myself to work as much as I think I should, I just spiral. But if I give myself nice long breaks and days off and weekends and actually, like, step away from the computer every so often, it gets easier. Find. Also, chat, we're a little lurky. Could I get a round of beers? If you're listening to the stream, just type in the word beer. Let's see how many beers we can get. Let's keep that chat active. Feel free to keep lurking after that, but I want to know how many people are listening. Let's just get rid of this topside stuff. Wink. Cancels dig. Reason. Dangerous terrain. Well, it's either water flooding in or lava. Or both. Water-filled lava. Steam. Bleh. Grumbles. Wish this fort was faster. Although if I somehow manage to magically fix the frame rate of this fortress, I will be ecstatic, because I do actually really like this fort. I do actually really like this fort, and I get kind of bummed out when stuff just breaks. Yeah, I know, Frog. I know. Also, Chad, if you want to help me out with absolutely no cost to you, go over to your Twitch channel and type in /host in my username. Give the channel a host. Helps tell Twitch to tell other people to watch me, which it doesn't do ever. So someone has to. I'm starting to get worried about one of the hard drives on my computer. It keeps spinning up and slowing down for no reason. Sounds lovely, Trippin. So I'm just rambling. Tried what yesterday, Space Pirate? Giving yourself a break? Or something? I don't know. I've talked about it a lot since you last spoke, so... Need to remember the context of what you're responding to. Oh, the host thing? I mean, I can see it if it worked, and you'll see if it works. Because you literally just type... Literally just type that. Although it doesn't pop up for me for some reason. That would actually be pretty funny if it booted me offline for doing that. That would actually be really funny. I'd be very amused by that. But yeah. Yeah, I can tell if it works because I see it in a little list of channels that are hosting me. Right now, there's 3 channels hosting me. 2 of them are my team. Great. We've got more of those undead peregrine falcons attacking. It's always a good time. Got dwarves that are storing stuff in places and dwarves that are constructing stuff. But they have to carry those blocks from a really far away. Because they're so far away. Peregrine Falcon is fighting once again. Those undead birds aren't helping either. Hey, we're getting that wood chop down. That's good. Although they're probably going to just cave in. Because they're dead trees. I would just like to see all of this water evaporate. That would make me very happy. Like, very, very, very happy if all this water would just evaporate. Go away, water. I need to fill this thing up with lava. You're not helping me achieve that goal. Yeah, I guess that we're not getting any DF news this day. I didn't get it. I didn't hear anything from Kit Fox, and normally it's every other Wednesday that they post Steam updates. But there was a couple weeks ago where Their community manager said they might not be every week, so maybe this is one of those maybe not every weeks. Because I'm trying to think like what Tarn could show in a news update. I guess like he theoretically could show the civilization screen, but because that is finished now. But aside from that, like I can't really think of much that they could show. Like there really isn't a huge amount left. Got that dam being built, and then we can start digging up this way. Most work nowadays might be strictly technical with no pretty graphics to show. Yeah, there's that. I mean, like, the only screen they haven't shown us yet is the Civ screen, which Tarn only just finished, so there is that. But yeah, because, like, Fortress mode is, I think, entering bug-fixing phase, we're not going to have a huge amount more to see. Which means it's really nice of YouTube to actually promote my other content, because previously that was the only thing that ever actually brought views to my YouTube channel, so. Means YouTube's picked a good time to start throwing me a bone, I guess. Because there's going to be a break, and then there's going to be a big influx, and the big influx is when it actually releases. They are getting real close, and that part is cool. Yeah, that is true. It is real cool to see how close they're getting. I think I'm just going to do a little pattern here. No particular reason as to why. I build a weird thing with a dead tree on it, because I think that'll be a neat aesthetic. But yes, the dam blockage is getting put into place. And we just wait, basically. Yeah, no. I mean, the thing is, like, we can't really say that they're too loudly that they're in the bug fix and polish phase, because what will happen is, especially like if they're at that point, like Tarn will post on his on his blog and that's about it. But I don't think that they're going to talk about that too loudly, especially on the Steam forums, because you know what happens when you tell people on Steam that you're fixing bugs, right? They go, let us test it, because for some reason the entire like wider public seems to think that they're all very qualified QA testers when they're not. The vast majority of people that test betas for games don't send any feedback, don't do any actual QA, and just play it for a little bit and get bored because it's unfinished, and then wait until it's actually finished. So I think Steam community feedback can certainly be helpful, but I don't think that, you know, what a lot of people would like there is a little dam now finished. I think what a lot of people would like, which is, you know, just making a public test bed for people to play the game, isn't actually a viable option for a lot of games. There's certainly like types of games, like if you have servers that need to be tested and whatnot, then yeah, it makes some sense. But I mean, how often, like Dwarf Fortress doesn't exactly have servers that need to be tested, you know? I'm still kind of convinced though that we're going to actually get a release window / release dates in June. I'm pretty convinced of that. And admittedly, that's just my my knowledge of when games get announced talking. So I might be inaccurate in my assumptions, but considering Dwarf Fortress was originally announced to be coming to premium paid-for platforms at Summer Games Fest, it would be logical to assume that they would announce the release date at Summer Games Fest. You got regular smooth gabbro floor, and you build a floor. If I build enough floor layer made of gabbro blocks on top of it, it'll be kind of made more stable. I.e., if something caves in on the zone above, it will punch through. I don't think so. I think they're like, as far as the game is concerned, like millimeter thick, right? So I don't think it would actually stabilize it. What would stabilize it would be building, like, do you have an open layer beneath it? Because if you have an open layer beneath it, the way to actually make that layer beneath it more stable is to put, like, walls, because nothing can cave through a solid layer. Nothing can cave through a fully constructed wall or a fully constructed layer. So your best bet at that point would be to... I think a dwarf just died. Yep, a dwarf just died. No idea who it was, but somebody caught fire. Whoops. The best way to go about that would just be to... I'm going to give a few other dwarves mining picks. Would be to have a solid layer beneath. You didn't know that could happen? Yep. I do it intentionally sometimes to kill things beneath it. They will knock through floors. I had an accidental not cave in, but a dwarf get knocked off a layer in Long Death a couple months ago. That fell, like, in kind of that diamond-shaped tower that I have in the corner, got knocked down the stairs on the top layer by a buzzard and fell through, I think it was like 15 Z levels worth of floors, and there was like a hole in each Z level, from one to the next, all the way down to the bottom. Like, literally went like a comedy through each floor layer, and he was fine. He got up and walked it off, but, like, he fell through a lot of layers of floor. So, yes, you can absolutely punch through floor layers. So you do kind of have to be careful with cave-ins. But yeah, as far as the bug fixing phase goes for Dwarf Fort, I don't think we're going to see much. And then I think that there will be a very small closed testing session. But that's certainly not going to be advertised to the public. QA is paid position for a good reason. Yep, and Kit Fox is working with all that. Although I don't imagine that their QA is particularly large. It's probably just them plus helpers. Yeah, there's no reason to waste the blocks. Unless you're trying to, like, match all the colors the same or something. Also, like, just... You're the one who causes cave-ins, so just don't cause a cave-in on the layer above. And you won't have issues. I think more and more and more people realize that now. I think a lot of people didn't realize that QA could be so tedious and boring. In, like, the 90s. But I think people are pretty aware of how tedious and boring and difficult QA can be now. I think that the issue is there's a different group of people that seem to think that QA can be difficult and boring and time-consuming, so just let us play it now anyways, and we'll pretend that we're doing QA, and just want to be invited into betas just to try games, right? Like, a lot of people just use betas as a marketing beta, like what they do with multiplayer FPS games, and just assume that all betas are a marketing beta, right? So when they hear the word beta, or they hear the word beta testing, they think, oh, you can sell it now, right? That's the problem that we have now. It's no longer like the problem that we had previously of, like, oh, Rip Marl, I think. I've had a couple dwarves just, like, spontaneously combust in here. So, yeah, no, it's, bit of a different issue. It's still an issue, but it's a different issue now. Previously, the issue was people thought that QA was just like a fun job that everybody would want to do that's super easy. And now people think, oh, beta. All right, that means they can sell it to me now. I don't care if it's kind of buggy. And then they leave a bad review because it's got bugs. right? That's where people are at now, and it's a similar problem, but kind of a different problem. I don't know. Similar end case scenario, different problem, and it just kind of sucks. There's like no world where that really benefits anybody. It just kind of annoys developers. Fuck, it's snowing again. It snowed briefly while it was raining the other day here. I used to work with a manager at McDonald's who had a side gig of plowing snow in the winter. And he would, whenever it started snowing, he'd be like, it's money-making season. Because he'd go make a small fortune just plowing small businesses' parking lots with his truck. I genuinely feel like this fort is boring as hell to watch, so I'm sorry, Jack. It's too slow. Although I'm also kind of weirdly optimistic that suddenly the frame rate's just going to fix itself in this fort. Maybe that's like a silly thing to be optimistic about, but I'm still kind of optimistic. Yeah, I lost another dwarf. Oh, that's unfortunate. To be fair, this is kind of a dangerous area to be digging because there is lava like everywhere, so. But chat, investments are open if you want to invest your tickets. I am still getting like weirdly excited now about Dwarf Fortress actually releasing. It just seemed so far off up until recently, which is nice. I think it'll be fun. Also had somebody leave a comment recently that just said, I'm so ready for you to start making a series about with this version. Like, yay. That's what I like to hear. No, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be a neat kind of transition for things. I will kind of miss Long Death, though. Not that Long Death will go away entirely, but Long Death will probably take a long break. You have good afternoon, Infinity. We'll see you when we see you. Take care of yourself. Like, we've made so little progress. Like, we haven't even moved halfway through a season in the time that I've been streaming. UE2, Infinity. I mean, it'll be exactly the same as my other streams. Space Pirate. Except of dwarfs. I don't know. I mean, I'm going to try to do a little bit of everything. I mean, one thing that I guarantee that I'm going to do probably with pre-release is I'm going to make a video of every biome. And by that, I mean I'm going to embark like 50 times. And in every single possible variation of every single possible biome I can find, and just kind of show off the ground layer. And then with every single one of those, I'm going to dig down to the Hell Zone and see what the demons look like in every layer, and have a video of every single biome in the game, and then followed by a video of every single demon that I can find. So you know, like that's what I'm gonna do initially, but after that, and like basic tutorials, I mean, it's gonna be business as usual. It's just gonna be more dwarfs, the same sort of forts I've done in previous versions, except with fancy graphics and music. Still dwarf fort at the end of the day, you know. It's just going to be prettier versions of the same way I've been playing the game for quite a while. But kind of right away is I am quite literally just going to do the YouTuber thing and be like, every single biome in Dwarf Fortress, Steam Edition, because, you know, I got to do the YouTube thing to do the YouTube thing, you know what I'm saying? And some people will be like, there's the spoilers, and I'm going to be like, yeah, that's fine. Eat me. Because I look at what other... Oh. You didn't just catch fire, did you? Clickbait? Not really. You know, I think a lot of people misunderstand what clickbait is. Clickbait is misleading titles, right? So if you say, hot lady does so-and-so thing, you'll never guess what happened next. And the video has nothing related to do that with that, that's clickbait. Or if I make, uh-oh, Casey's been found dead. No, not Casey. You got obsidianified. That sucks. Like as an example, if I make a video about Dwarf Fortress and I put a supermodel in the thumbnail, that's clickbait. Because there's not going to be a supermodel anywhere in the video. That's clickbait. What is that? Oh, that's a zombie eagle, I think. Yeah, it's an eagle corpse. Kill the eagle! Get him! So, like, that's clickbait, right? But making a top 10 video is not a clickbait title. Making a video about things and stating what the video is in the title, that's not clickbait. A lot of people just assume that things that have descriptive titles are clickbait because it's a well-written title. There's a difference between a well-written title that is designed to entice people into clicking on it and a title that is clickbait. But a lot of people on the internet don't know the difference. I mean, Co-Carnage will. Co-Carnage has said many times he will. He's also commented on being excited about it, which means Co and his friends probably will, which means you'll probably get like Burke Black and people playing it. Cringer probably will. Shenrir probably will. So like the medium-large streamers, like the 500-600s peoples will. My whole team will. Quill18 will. Yeah. People act like people and call things what they call them even if inaccurate. Yes. Like the vast majority of things that get accused of being clickbait now are not even close to clickbait. God, the actual like body count on this is pretty high. Let's slow down with this a little bit. There's just too much lava still right there. I've lost like quite a few, like 5 dwarves in the last 10 minutes, so. Of course Nucrium will. I mean, Nucrium's like me. Like, that's a given. Sorry, cutest. Rip, cutest. You can now actually be a ghost. But yeah, no, the vast majority of things that get accused of being clickbait are not clickbait. A well-written video is like, or a well-scripted video is not clickbait. A lot of people call them clickbait. Like 5 things that I learned about Dwarf Fortress, as long as it includes 5 things, would not be considered clickbait, but would probably get called clickbait if I titled the video that. So, someone called my "Why I Don't Use DF Hack and Therapist" video clickbait. of every YouTube thumbnail having tits in it. The good old days of SXy Phil. Philly DeFranco. And his titty thumbnails. Or like Athene Wins just putting various shots of his girlfriend in every thumbnail. Which later she made him take down. Which almost single-handedly nuked his YouTube channel out of existence, which is kind of great. I made a video, someone called it clickbait. I should do that. Do you remember Reply Girl, Jack Nurk? And then people would just like reply to videos with completely unrelated videos just to promote the videos. Yeah, I do remember that era. You know, they're trying to bring that back with shorts. They're trying to bring back the ability to comment on videos with shorts, which is really funny to me. Or like you'd go to the most recent like insert large YouTuber here. Like you'd go to the most recent Ray William Johnson, and all of the reply videos would just be porn. Like the good old days of YouTube shenanigans. The good old days of before they had the algorithms that would like detect that shit before you even uploaded it. The good old days. People forget, but I'm sorry, what? Oh, Elf is fighting with an eagle corpse. Good luck, Elf. I'd rather comment with pants instead of shorts. What about jorts? Like jeans cut off halfway? See, I'm more of a Crocs commenter myself. But yeah, no, YouTube has talked about two things that make my eyes roll really hard, which is they want you to be able to mint shorts as NFTs within YouTube, and they also, which they were maybe they'll retract that one. I hope they do. But they want you to be able to mint shorts as NFTs, and they also want you to be able to respond to comments with shorts. Both of those things, I think, are hilarious. Oh God, fuck off! Exactly, yeah. That was my response too when I saw that video. YouTube shorts? I mean, based on the amount of effort most people put into their shorts, that's not too far off. I don't mind shorts. I think, like, the concept of, like, that style of video, I think, is fine, and I think that the fact that YouTube has, like, a separate feed for it is pretty great, actually. I kind of don't mind shorts. I think shorts are fine. Besides, somebody... Cutest Ghost says, guess what they're growing, by the way. So guess what Cutest Ghost is growing. I guessed catnip. But go guess what Ghost is growing. Woogie is fighting with what? Oh, the eagle corpse. Beans. So, I mean, it's green and it has layers, so it's obviously onions, but... Mold? I mean, most people are probably unknowingly growing mold. I don't think you can legally grow weed in Russia. Orange. So unlikely. I mean, they might just be weeds. Not to be confused with weed. Very different things. But forever underbaked? I don't know. They seem about as baked as... That sounds weird worded that way. I don't know if they quite follow the old YouTube or Google model of everything underbaked. To me, the YouTube Shorts as they currently sit could like not change and be totally fine. Like they're about as developed as they need to be. I don't really like what would you do to Shorts? Put more ads into them? I mean, YouTube's idea of continuing to work on Shorts would be allowing you to mint them as NFTs. Like, I don't know. My assumption is green onions is what Cutest is growing. Because green onions, it's green and it has layers, so. Based on the hint, I would say probably green onions. Wild hair mode? You could tell me to put the hair back up. Although I think wild would be like up in pigtails or something. Once every, I think I set it for 2 hours. You can make me keep my hair down or keep my hair up. Although I have this weird feeling I'm just going to have my hair down from now on stream, but we'll see. I thought about maybe making it into a, never, absolutely not. I mean, I said yesterday when Navy asked, he's just like, how much for pigtails? And I was like, $5,000? But then I was just like, you know what? I think I'd do that probably as like a charity incentive. Maybe on my birthday or something. I'd consider doing something stupid like that. Or maybe if the hot potato raises $150,000 next year or this year or something, I'll do a stream where I have my hair in pigtails. I could do it. I have enough hair ties. Now you could see me in a mosh pit. I mean, could you not before? I mean, I'm also wearing a Slipknot shirt. I'm just cold. Because it's cold in here. Viking braids? I don't have like the skills to braid. I've never learned how to braid my own hair. I can braid other people's hair, but I can't braid my own hair. And so I need an assistant if I was gonna put braids in. This was from the last show that they did here in 2014. I can't remember when their next show's supposed to be here, but I ain't going because prices for floor tickets went from $95, which is what they were in 2014. Hold on a second, Diamond. So in 2014 it was $96 for a floor ticket to Slipknot. And now it's, based on this search, $641 for the same ticket. Yeah, no thanks. It's a bit of an inflation. What am I going to do on 2077 stream? Absolutely nothing of note, just like Cyberpunk 2077. On the topic of procrastination, ADOM has become your new mental illness. Send help. That game's so good, though. My God. OG ADOM is so fucking good. I just set somebody else on fire? Yeah, I just set somebody else on fire. Boo. I'm just slowly, like, eating through all my miners. All right, dwarves. I need more miners. This is a very dangerous moat we're building. Now, are you playing ADOM because I recommended it, or are you just playing ADOM because you're playing ADOM? Because ADOM is just, you know, it was one of the most popular games in the world at one point in time. With good reason. I could play the Long Night mod? No, because I don't really have much interest in the Long Night mod. Well, it's not that I don't have interest, I don't feel like it, and I don't want to. So I will do absolutely nothing noteworthy for the Cyberpunk 2077 stream, because that game wasn't noteworthy, and I don't feel like advertising it. I will stream on my 2077 stream, just like I streamed on the 76th and the 78th. Maybe we'll try and beat our counting goal, or our counting high score on stream 277. I'm also like nowhere near as big on Cyberpunk as I think some people are. Like it's not that cool of a. Like I like the aesthetics of Cyberpunk, but I don't know. I feel like Cyberpunk is one of those things where the entire planet is way more into it than I am. If that makes any sense. So. Oh, of course it's going to support native Linux. Absolutely it's going to do that. It's ADOM. Got undead dingoes on the map. I prefer steampunk. I like reality. Yeah, I think I'm going to continue being burnt out on zombie games for another 10 years, I would say. It's like I have acquired this copy of Back for Blood in the Ukraine Humble Bundle, and I haven't done that. Frostpunk makes me want to vomit. That game makes me so motion sick. I don't even know what's wrong with me with that game. Like I lasted about 30 minutes in that game before I wanted to leave. The aesthetic? Yeah, I don't like the aesthetic of steampunk all that much. It's fine. But I think I prefer the aesthetic of Cyberpunk if we're talking about just aesthetics. I like the dark neon lights kind of look. Rainy cities. The part that I don't like about Cyberpunk is where some weird people are like, hey, that shit's cool. We should aspire to be like that. It's like, no, we shouldn't. What? And there are some people who like kind of look at Cyberpunk and they're like, that shit's awesome. No, it's supposed to be awful. You're supposed to hate it. But, you know, people are dense and kind of dumb, I think. But the feature churn is a bit wonky, meaning have you been meaning to try Bright Nights? Comes highly recommended. What do you mean by feature churn? You mean like the rapid adding of features, or where can you sign up for that? Give Elon Musk money. That's how. That'll unlock you one addition to your own dystopia that you're already living in. And it'll continue to get worse. Outrun style a bit more in Solarpunk settings. Cyberpunk makes you a bit depressed. Yeah, I think that's my problem with Cyberpunk too. Is at least like Cyberpunk 2077 style of Cyberpunk, where there's nothing like super outlandish. It's like, okay, some weird helicopters, but like aside from that, it's just like normal ass cars with just bigger buildings and everything's destroyed. Like that's like Cyberpunk's idea of Cyberpunk. I'm more into like the Blade Runner or like Altered Carbon style of Cyberpunk, where it's like closer to science fiction than Cyberpunk. Like Blade Runner is Cyberpunk for sure, but it's got like massive airships and flying cars and like it's almost more cartoony in that way. It's like an extremist, exaggerated version of like us destroying our planet instead of a man, I could see this happening, you know, kind of thing. I mean, you don't need ad block on this stream, Stone, but... And if you're getting ads on my stream, I'm very sorry and I need to fix that, but... You just got a pop-up ad block advert. So it's an advertisement advertising ad block? That's kind of sus. Is this like the question of which candidate you can vote for? So the U.S. doesn't have a flying murder machines and kill people. You know. Hunter killers, man. Well, I mean, they want to take your data so that they can have your data instead of the advertising companies, obviously. Bit too much salt. Did you make your lunch? Or did somebody else make it? Because if somebody else made it, you should give them some feedback. Hey, want to stop seeing this ad? Press me and get #1 ad blocker. Tired of seeing this ad? Download our software. Cool, I already hate you. Haven't even met you yet. Also, in regards to that Bloomberg report that we were kind of talking about earlier, I'm just going to throw this out there. I think my podcast is going to have some interesting takes on it, considering FG pointed this out, and she's not wrong, but Bloomberg doesn't actually know how the Twitch ad incentives work that they're reporting on, which is fair. I mean, I doubt that any of them have been offered any of those ad incentives. So, you know, keep that in mind. Jimmy Tibby was found dead. Leave Vay. Wait, what? How were you found dead? Maybe Steam. It's unfortunate. Unless you somehow drowned. Never thought you would need to filter out exercises with mentions of tanks and projectiles to not scar children even more. If, yeah. Yeah. I had to have a discussion with my dad, because my dad's convinced that there's going to be video games based in this conflict pretty soon. He's like, oh, soon enough, you'll be playing video games that are... My dad likes to blame video games on violence in the world all the time. He's one of those people, which I always have to, like, respectfully disagree with on him. Cutest ghost have been missing for a week, rip. So I always have to respectfully disagree with my dad on that regard, because, like, it's just not accurate that video games cause violence in people. Clearly, lack of video games causes violence. Look at Putin. Anyway, and he was talking about how he's convinced that there's going to be video games based in this conflict pretty soon. I'm like, no, that's a very good way to just, like, never sell your video game, because nobody likes real-world conflicts based in conflicts that are recent enough that people can remember. Like, humans cause violence? Yeah, mostly. And humans like to blame their violence on other external factors. Already a few made a few years ago? Yeah, but none of them are high-budget, high-profile releases that made a lot of money. I mean, there's things like Rus and like Steel Division and all those games that look kind of like a similar conflict, but they're not named. They took place in this conflict. And of course, there's stuff like, you know, the Stalker games and those that take place in the same region, but not the same conflict. Like, I'm saying, well, you're not going to get a video game called The Battle of Kiev anytime soon. You're not going to get a video game about the Battle of Donbass anytime soon. Holy shit, my frame rate just went back up to normal frame rates. What just happened? Hold up. Then it went back down. But it's higher than it was. This keeps happening. Like, jumps up for a moment, and then it goes back down. God damn it. I mean, of course, but I'm not talking about... Okay, so I'm not talking about enthusiast micro products, right? And I'm not talking about cartoony bullshit like Red Alert 4. Red Alert 4 might as well take place in another planet. That's like saying that VeggieTales is a documentary, right? It's... Shut up about your Red Alert. That's not relevant. But, like, milsim stuff isn't mainstream video games, right? But, like, Arma isn't what... And Squad and that stuff isn't what your average person who's playing video games is playing, right? Like, of course, they'll have realistic... Like, I'm sure people are already recreating those battles in Arma. It's already happening, but that's a niche section of video games. You're not going to have a Call of Duty based in, like, this conflict in the next 3 years. That's what I'm talking about when I say mainstream video games. I'm not talking about, like, niche milsims and such. That's a different marketplace. Just like Slytherin will probably publish a game that covers this at some point. I mean, those already exist. Like, literally just go to Steam and type in Putin right about now. Let's see. Free to play. Fuck Putin is number 1 here. This is just you get a 3D model of Putin and you cut him into pieces in a physics sandbox. So we're already there. Past that point, I would say. Ghosts have been laid to rest. That's good. But, like, maybe don't spend money on those. But yes, you use Putin as a giant piñata. That's fine. That advert popped up again? Maybe you should ad block that advert with a different ad block. Yeah, no, you shouldn't look up Hitler games on Steam. If you go to Steam and you look up Putin, you mostly get like meme games about Putin making the coronavirus disappear, and games that just give you a billion achievements that are a crappy Mario knockoff where you play as Putin for some reason, and then just games about beating up Putin. So that seems like fun entertainment for the whole family. I wonder if anybody's been arrested for playing a game like that. Probably. All right, well, that lava's about to go psss. Uh-oh, we got a zombie dwarf here. Sending my military in. Because, like, this Jimmy Tibby zombie is actually, like, scary enough that we may run into problems. Oop, okay, they got it. It's good. We're fine. Zombie's dead. How deep is the water over here? Man, it's taking forever to drain. I'm so worried it's like filling from somewhere in there. So worried. Well, someone just caught on fire over there. Can you tell I'm pretty annoyed with this fort at this point? I'm kind of at that point. I just want to finish this project. That's all I want to finish. Although I've been annoyed with this fort ever since I realized how deep that aquifer was. It's like, oh, this aquifer is like fucking 20 Z levels deep. All right, well, fuck this fortress, I suppose. I've just kind of been that way since. I'm trying to think where I could settle next. I'm kind of thinking about settling close to this tower, but I might also just like go up here and settle close to this tower and then just kill this tower. That might be what we do with the next one. That or make another haunted fort. Haven't decided yet. Depends on what materials are available up there. Although if the frame rate for this fort just decided to fix itself all of a sudden, that would be lovely. I'd be super down for that. Good nights. I haven't had a good nights in a long times. You sleep well, though. We'll see when we see you. Ensign's fine. It was good to see you after so long. It's been like 3 months. Nice of you to stop by. May you sleep well and not wake up hunger. Yeah, one Z level deep hole is totally fine. But when it's like 15 plus, it's like... There's images popping up on the... Uh-oh, there's an undead eagle head. There's a beheaded America fighting with people. That can't be good. That memorial. Where the hell's this eagle? Oh, I guess they killed it. That was probably the head of it. Let's see, did the... Okay, yeah, it looks like the eagle stopped fighting again. Also, these undead birds, not fun to play against. Undead big animals, fun. Undead birds, they just fly into your fort. Also, no foul blend decks here, which is sad. Oh, come on. Where's this eagle head? Get that eagle's head! Off with its head. Wait, it's already off. Continue to off with its head. Remove the remainder of its head. But yes, once all of this is gone, hopefully this water will just fucking drain. The merchants are leaving soon. I'm surprised they haven't left yet. So, for reference, chat, we've been in this fort for about 2 hours, and about 3 months in-game have gone by. We haven't actually moved from one... Actually, no, it's not true. We went from winter to spring. But it's been about 3 months in-game. So we're running at like a fifth of the frame rate of Longdeath. Buying games seems a bit rude during a war. I mean, of all the game companies you could support, it's not like you're supporting Escape from Tarkov or something, right? Like, you are supporting... Like, if you're buying Caves of Cud, I'd be willing to bet they're probably throwing something towards that. That's the sort of thing they would do. I don't know if they have been, but, you know. Ryan Becklu's good dudes, so... But also that, yeah. Much better to just donate directly to the army. Did you see the tweets from the organizers of the itch bundle? Let me just grab that. grab that video. This is it. That's from Itch, so shoutouts to Itch. Yeah, that's the result of the itch.io bundle that happened. Pretty good result, I would say. Which is like the $6 million that was raised on Itch. Pretty solid, I would say. Also, it's such a good Twitter handle, at Necrosofty for at Necrosoft. Such a good Twitter handle. Shoutouts to him for getting such a good name. What does Eagle Dynamics make? Oh, DCS? Oh, did they make mods for DCS? I guess? I mean, it would be a bit counterproductive to give money to somebody who is, well, unfortunately directly supporting a war effort against you. So that would be kind of counterproductive. I just want to be able to pay cooler for art. And I can't do that right now without technically breaking sanctions. Really? Okay. For some reason, I thought that DCS was from the UK. Ew. I don't play DCS, so I've never even installed it. I thought that they were European, but okay. Started out as a simulation of a KA-50 helicopter. Isn't that usually how most intense sims with a bunch of different vehicles start out? Is they start out as like, we're going to simulate this one thing really, really well, and then 20 years later, they're like, well, we're simulating all of these things as well now. Like, it's never just one thing. Usually, actually, always a lot of things by the end of it. All right, well, we're getting there with this. We just get to wait for the last of this water to dry up. At least the river drained, which is good. Then we have to go through and get rid of all of the ramps. Then we fill the thing up with lava, and that'll be the project done for this fort. No, Dwarf Fortress has always been super ambitious. Well, originally it was Slaves to Armok, God of Blood that was going to simulate everything. And then they started working on Dwarf Fortress as a side project, and then Dwarf Fortress became the main project. So, not quite, but not wrong. Bullet Hell Tennis? Should link it in game news. Cause I'm looking for obviously games to play on the oh, I get it. 10S tennis. I see it. Okay. I get it. I understand the pun. I get the joke. No, that's Rogue that was intended to be a D&D generator. Rogue was intended to be the D&D generator. Yeah, tennis. 10S, tennis. It's a pun. Tennis. See? I don't think there's ever been a time in your life with less contact and transportation between US and Russia. Clearly you didn't live through the Cold War. How do deported diplomats even get home? There's no flights. I'm sure that private planes are arranged to fly them home. You need to say it in English to get it. Flew over your head. I mean, I got it pretty quick. But yeah, that makes sense. I mean, you'd obviously say the number 10 and the letter S, and not in English. So yes, that would make sense. Why you wouldn't get the joke immediately? It's a pretty clever pun, though. I gotta give it to him. I've heard that Japanese is really fun for puns. Obviously I don't speak Japanese, but I've heard things about puns in Japanese from dad joke enthusiasts. I once had someone telling me that if I truly like puns, I have to learn Japanese, and I was like, why? Yeah, that makes sense. Good jobs. Scoops died. What? Oh no. Dwarves just keep randomly dying from, like, steam on this map. I'm gonna actually just place a bunch of coffins here. Good old times where table tennis ad on the board was shaped and was Sharpied to read table penis? Table tennis to table penis? I mean, I'd laugh if I saw that. Yeah, no, they probably, like, usually you like with diplomats, they'd get them out of there. They'd either get private flights or they'd just be put on military aircraft. Like, just because there's an embargo on all flights doesn't mean they're not going to fly their people out. Also, usually with diplomats, it's like an exchange, right? So they'd fly our diplomats over here and we'd fly their diplomats over there. Unless they're just getting arrested, but that's a different thing. Yeah, but like Frog for Hire is talking about like diplomats from like Canada and the US. You can't fly from, or you can't take a train from Canada to Russia. Yeah, no, that's not wrong. I mean, Russia was not a hard country to visit for the past 15 years. Like you could just get on a plane and go there and stay in a hotel. Like it's not like it was North Korea or something. Like you could absolutely travel to Russia without trouble previously. I mean, like PAX West 2019. I met a bunch of Russian fans actually. Or not PAX West, PAX East 2019. Because a friend of mine's community was largely Russian, and I met a bunch of people who watch my stuff from Russia. Like a bunch of random people that I didn't recognize that just walked up to me. They're like, I watch your stuff on YouTube. It's like, what? Okay, cool. Like, I think I got recognized by more Russians at PAX East than I did by, like, Americans. Mostly because I was also pretty active in a community at the time that had a large Russian-speaking group in it. Yeah, I mean, if a diplomat is leaving, the diplomat would have a flight arranged. It's probably a military flight, but it's still a flight. Diplomats are like Pokemon cards. Kids don't trade Pokemon cards anymore. They sell them on eBay for exorbitant amounts of money and throw the rest in the garbage. Dwarf is killing that eagle. Look at that. Send that eagle to Hotel California. An Estonian couple as guests some years ago, and they were in Spain for a heavy metal summer festival crawl. I think I might know what festival you're talking about. I read about a lot of European metal festivals. Oh, it's fine. I mean, it's a fair thing to wonder about. I mean, I was wondering the other day if there's enough things going between Canada and Russia still that I could mail something to Cooler, and turns out no, I can't even I can't even like send him a postcard. Was the best cabbage you've ever eaten? Yeah, I believe it. I think like the thing that everybody needs to remember, right, is yes, there is practically World War III happening, but it's largely being conducted by a very small group of morons in charge of a very big country with a lot of people in it that are unfortunately very heavily influenced by propaganda. Just like the rest of the world. It would be like if everybody in this, if the only news organization in the States was Fox News and everybody watched it. It's, and even then, like, Fox News being worse than Fox News currently is. So it's a weird place for the world to be in, but you gotta remember that there's still good people everywhere. Of course, there's exceptions to every rule, but I hope that that couple that you ran into, Chops, or got out of the country, because especially if, like, you know, they're 50-50 Estonian Russian, hopefully they just got out of the country to have minimal issues. Krabicus has given birth to a girl. Congratulations, Krabicus. Proud of you, Dwarf. Yeah, I really, that's the, like, I love the metal scene that we have in Vancouver, but man, I really wish that we had more metal festivals around here, but we just don't. We have raves, which are fine, but I'm not, I look at my hair, I'm not much of a rave scene person. I do the wrong, as I tell my friends locally when I talk to people, which is rare, I tell them that I do the wrong kind of drugs to go to raves. I'd need to do slightly different drugs to go to raves. I mean, it better be delicious. But yeah, I don't know. It's just, it's a weird place that we live in. And it's all it's really succeeded in doing is just made me really, really, really fucking sad. Like, that's literally all that the past, what, 3 months? God, it's only been 2 months. The last 2 months have done is just made me really fucking sad. That's all it's really done. I think it's just, it's ruined a lot of people's lives and made a lot of people really fucking sad. That's all it does. For the sake of a small group of rich people's egos. And that's just really fucking shitty. Anyway, sorry for being a hyper bummer. Hope you guys are hanging in there, chat. Maybe we should just retire this fort. I'll finish taking this out. Retire this fort. Because this is running too slow. Chat investments are open. If you want to invest your tickets. I'll be right back. I'm going to go check something. All right, I return. Your wife watched a show about the near future called Years and Years, and boy, has it aged badly fastly. I mean, was this like a cable network show? You must go. We'll see you when we see you, chaps. I'm not surprised that they failed in every prediction if it's like a TV show. Not surprised. Also, you got the second time, bread fan. Well done. I too am a fan of bread, must say. I have to translate that. But hello, Siverny. Axon's being interrupted by an eagle head. So many eagle heads in this fort. It's like these eagles are just ahead of the game here because everything is an eagle head. Yeah, I had to Google Translate the first thing that you said, but hello. Yeah, we're playing a very laggy fort and probably going to start a new fort pretty soon. I've run this one for the last week, but it's proving questionable frame rate wise, so. We're just trying to make this watery area that's all blue into a lava moat. Once I've done that, I will retire this fort, I think. And then we have a few options of things that we could do. Let's see if the bot's going to be kind. Hey, the bot was kind. Look at that. Even Cyrolac won. Well done, dude. You bribed the bot with ham? Are you telling me that you hammed it up? You think it's a brilliant fortress? Well, that's very kind of you to say. I think it's a bit of a mess, but mostly because like the underground area is possibly the most obnoxious. Oh, why there's miasma there? Possibly the most obnoxious entry hallway I've ever had to dig, but the actual fortress itself is pretty aesthetically pleasing. I actually really like the way this fort looks. Minus the miasma there, but. Yeah. No, it's easier for me to read text in light mode. It's got nothing to do with borders and whatnot. For me, it's just reading text. Reading text is the only thing that is easier with light mode. Everything else is fine in dark mode. I can operate, like, for clarity's sake, I can operate just fine in dark mode. It's just reading text makes my eyes sore in dark mode. You do it. But unless it's like bold and a non-Arial font that's thicker, you would think that darker, see, that's the problem, is the contrast. that is the problem. I basically can't use an old-fashioned terminal. Like I quite literally can't. Unless I can change the font. If I can make it a thick font that's bold, that's bright, then I can see it. But a lot of modern design aesthetics don't work well with thick fonts, and it's a pain in the ass. So I do not like terminals. I need white background with black text. And if you don't understand it, that's fine. You probably have eyes that work normally. Just saw it off with it. I don't like dark mode, and I never will. Like, I've literally never used a monitor setup and coloration setup that's made dark mode pleasant. It's always, I'm fine for the first like 20, 30 minutes, and then I start to get a headache, and then it just gets worse, and it 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 gets worse. And then I can't use the computer anymore. I have to go do something else. It's got nothing to do with Windows. It's purely reading text. It's a similar issue that I have with multicolored backgrounds and transparent backgrounds with text behind it. It's fine for a bit, and then I start getting a headache. Back to the drawing board. Why are you trying to like diagnose solutions for dark mode for me? Are you a UX designer by day or something? Like why does that matter? Just let me use my light mode and it's fine. Stop trying to force dark mode on everybody. Just been thinking about it a lot and trying to understand. Use a computer setting that gives you a headache. That's what it's like. If you've ever used a computer setting or a UX setting or something that slowly gives you a headache over time and gives you eye strain, that's what it's like. It's literally the only thing, like, I don't know why it's so complicated for you to wrap your brain around. It's literally just, it gives me a headache if I use it. It makes me see spots. It makes me go cross-eyed. It doesn't feel good. Trying to read text in a non-native resolution gives you a headache? Well, there you go. Similar symptoms. As to the exact cause of it, according to my eye doctor, it's because I have blind spots and I have to focus and squint. If you're going to be that Guy Bread fan, you're just going to get timed out. Dark mode is a fucking cult. It kind of is, yeah. Shoutouts to low contrast, dim light mode users out there. TLDR Bread fan, I'm legally blind and I'm disabled and dark mode gives me a headache. And for some fucking stupid, fucked up, goddamn annoying ass reason, every single human being on the internet treats me like a criminal every single time I mention that I use light mode. I'm disabled. Let me use the monitor settings that are easiest for me. Light mode is way easier to read than dark mode for extended periods of time for me. And if you go around saying you fucking heretic, I'll ban you because I don't need you like coming after me for being disabled. Even if you think it's hilarious for some stupid reason. Elitism and gatekeeping isn't welcome in any format, and being an asshole to somebody for using computers in a way that's easier for them to see. It's just not welcome. It's just like, you know, I'm not going to knock anybody for using Comic Sans because they're probably dyslexic. I'm not going to use Comic Sans because I think it's an ugly font. But if you're using Comic Sans, you're probably dyslexic. Dump that body because apparently they don't want to put it in the coffin. That's the whole point of Comic Sans. You should go read some articles on dyslexic-friendly fonts. Fart? Frog? That's also a 4-letter F word. I just read remember 4-letter F word. Fart. Front. Frog. Yes, that is true. Fred is also a 4-letter F word. Fire. Because it's an ugly font. Like, Comic Sans is ugly looking. That's why people don't like it. It's because people like symmetrical consistency. And they don't realize that certain, like, disabilities make that difficult. Fool, that's also a 4-letter F word, yeah. They're almost all unique, different. Yeah, I mean, there are better fonts than Comic Sans. Like, there's one which is, like, Open Dyslexia, I think. But there are certain fonts that are better that look more professional than Comic Sans, but Comic Sans is, like, the default included in everything dyslexic-friendly font. Right? So if you need a font that is friendly for someone with dyslexia, Comic Sans is probably your best bet. That or they just have terrible taste and have minions in the back of their car, in which case, and you're just a mom with poor taste. Just like that one fashion brand in the States that all their signs in their mall locations are written in Comic Sans. I didn't know that Tentacruel had a video on that, but probably. But yeah, no, I genuinely believe that the people who go around just like making fun of people for using light mode need to just learn to shut up. Because not everybody's eyes operate the same way. And for some people, light mode is the only viable way of using a computer. Myself included. Comic Sans seems like just reminds me of the way comic letters look in comic books. So it's just like, why would you write? It's like, so yeah, I could totally see it being childish and unprofessional, which I don't disagree with. I think that if you're unironically just using Comic Sans because you like it, that is very childish and unprofessional. I'll agree with that. But like anybody, like people who are dyslexic, what they should do, and usually what they do is they type it out in Comic Sans and then copy paste it into a different font, which is very easy to do, which is what most people do. Yeah, it's actually really funny. Some people believe that it's socially acceptable to harass people when they're the ones doing the harassing. This is like one of the funniest like weird double standards, I guess is the word I would use, that I've learned about with people. It's just like, oh, people are totally okay with harassing people, assuming it's something that they agree with. I can't imagine trying to read Chinese, so yeah, dyslexica just to me seems like a kick in the shin at that point. A slight mild exaggeration. Almost as mild as some world leaders right now. There was a, actually, sorry to bring it back to Ukraine, but there was a post on the Vancouver subreddit a couple of weeks ago that was literally just, don't tell Putin about Canada's or British Columbia's Nazi party, because we do have one. Okay, so Werepossum Galka Dambipa? That's a weird name. Has come a large opossum twisted into a humanoid form. It is crazed for blood and flesh, and its eyes glow yellow. Its charcoal hair is short and even. You will know why you fear the night. For clarity's sake, there's like 7 people in that party. Total. And nobody votes for them, and they don't get any ridings anywhere because nobody likes them, and they're kind of idiots. The Werepossum has arrived. All right. Are you even going to make it to my... I'm just going to kind of let you go wild because you're walking away from my dwarves right now. Is there even... All right, why are you going this way? Gonna put the dwarves into that burrow. And then I'm going to send my military in to kill the thing. Remove the dwarves from the burrow. Okay. Werepossum misses the farmer. 1 hit on the farmer. We're gonna have to do this like a few tiles at a time. Werepossum misses the farmer. Werepossum charges and collides with the farmer. Yeah, it's also really rare to have, like, a werewolf. Hey, at the very least, it's a possum and not, like, a ass. Farmer is knocked over and tumbles backwards. And then the Hammerlord bashes the Werepossum in the upper left arm with her silver warhammer, chipping the bone. Okay, let's wait a few turns. Werepossum misses the Hammerlord, strikes at the Hammerlord, but the shot is blocked. Werepossum charges at the Hammerlord, but the Hammerlord jumps away, and the Werepossum misses the Hammerlord. Hammerlord bashes the Werepossum. This is how you have to fight were creatures, is one frame at a time and read all of the combat logs. Strikes at the Hammerlord, misses the Hammerlord, strikes, but the shot is blocked, misses. The farmer misses the Werepossum. I like how the farmer's coming back at him. The militia commander bashes the Werepossum in the right upper leg with his steel crossbow, fracturing the bone. Good for you. The Werepossum misses. The farmer stabs the Werepossum in the tail with his steel short sword. Shoutouts to the farmer, tearing the muscle. The Hammerlord bashes the Werepossum in the right paw with his silver warhammer, bruising the muscle. The militia commander bashes the Werepossum in the right upper leg with his steel crossbow. Don't worry about it. That spine has tendons in it. The Werepossum miss, strikes, miss, sweet. Werepossum scratches the militia commander, tearing apart the fat and bruising the muscle. That should be fine. Scratch, uh-oh. Not the militia commander. All right, so who's the militia commander? Cyril, I got bad news for you there. You are bit. So far, it's just the militia commander that's been bit. Although, shoutouts to the militia commander who's been bit, right? The militia commander, hold on, where's this line? So this militia commander got bit, right? But bit him back. Trying to look for the line where that starts. Because he's just been shaking him for a while. It's been shaking him for so long. Where did he actually bite him? Militia commander strikes the Werepossum in the first finger by the left hand with his steel buckler, tearing apart the hair and bruising the muscle. Force twists it and it's torn. The militia commander breaks the grip of the Werepossum's teeth on his right hand, and the militia commander shakes the Werepossum. Oh, okay, so he's holding on to him and shaking him around. Yeah, commander got bit, and then the commander's now shaking him around by where he got bit. I really hope they kill that thing soon. Good lord, it's dead. So the militia commander bit him, but we're gonna have to expel that militia commander, unfortunately. Cyril. Oh, you have a family. How sad. We'll have to see where you lie down and we'll have to quarantine you. You can quarantine dwarves into their own section of the fort, yeah. I did that in my last fort when Stone's dwarf got bit. We gave her her own fort, basically. It was small, but... there isn't really any workarounds. You just need to build a wall around them. They don't need food. Because, well, they get thirsty and they get hungry, but... all of their meters, health, food, need to sleep, everything is reset when they become a were creature. So they cease being hungry, they cease being thirsty. So they basically get a monthly reset on all their needs. Yeah, no, they will eventually go insane. But they will live forever as their mood degrades. But I'm just going to build a wall around this dwarf when they lie down. Very carefully. Why? How to deal with about 140 zombies. It depends on what kind of defenses you have set up. My main recommendation is lock the door, and then build like cage traps. Bridges would work. Lava would work. You got a few different options. Of course, you picked the bed that I can't completely quarantine. Because there's a thing in the way. I would just lock the door. Is it, a Vile Force of Darkness has arrived, or is it the Dead Walk, hide while you still can? And do they have a commander? Like, is there a necromancer with them, or is it just a bunch of zombies? Like, is it an official, is it listed as a siege, is what I'm asking. Because if it's just listed as a siege, you can just wait it out, so just lock the door and wait. If it's not listed as a siege, then they're just wandering zombies and they're not going to leave and you have to deal with them. I mean, this dwarf was, as far as I'm concerned, is a hero. I mean, they did a very good job defending their friends from a were-creature attack, and their prize is they get to deal with the curse as well. And that sucks. Let's jump back up to you. Who's resting? For now, lock the door. Well, it sounds like you've got things under control then. Yeah, no, my advice is really just, like, lock the door and wait. Fortunately, when it comes to were creatures, you have until the next full moon to fix them. Or kill them. But we are going to try and just seal this dwarf off. It's also kind of a good idea to be able to quarantine the hospital by locking doors or something, or having a drawbridge or something. But if he gets up, we're going to need to seal him off again. Okay, so they're going up to the surface to get blocks. There was, and I always like to talk about this, but there was one time I actually had a werewolf. Because it could be literally any animal in the game, so it's like roll the dice, the massive dice with every single animal type in the game, and that's what your world happens to get. I once managed to generate a world with werewolves in it, and it was wild. I like this Quill18 take on that Bloomberg article about Twitch. Quill18, Twitch is trying to speedrun versus Netflix, how to ruin their business. More ads, less money for people who actually make all the content. Where do I sign up? Oh, that's funny. It is funny. You know what's funny is I'm still like, I use Netflix enough that the money's worth it. Although I only subscribe to 480p Netflix, I don't even have the HD Netflix, so Netflix is like $11 a month for me, so. Because I just watch it on my phone, so it's like, fucking whatever. I'm not gonna lose sleep if I don't have all of the pixels. You know who also deleted almost $50 billion from existence in one day? Elon Musk, so. And to me, Netflix's way of doing it is more believable. Your Tesla stocks are hurting? I would honestly say get rid of, like, sell those. But don't take my investing advice. This is not a stocks investment advice stream. But sell that stock because it's not going to be worth more. That's just my take, but that stock's been extremely inflated for a while. Now that it's low? All right. Have fun losing money. It's very overvalued. If you compare it to any other car company in history, it's like 200% plus overvalued. And it's been that way for a while. Need you to get out of there, Dwarf. There you go. But whatever. Like I said, this is not a stocks or investment advice stream, so I don't really want to give investment advice. You invest your money the way you want. Like I said, I want to change the subject, Able Bacon. I'm trying my best. It's all good. Securities are worth people to imagine them, but Netflix is just now $80 billion less in imagination. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, it's imaginary, made up funny money to make people richer in a system that I hate. Well, you know, such is life. What kind of eels, Stone? I don't even know what corpse that is, but some corpse is fighting. I mean, you should invest your money in twitch.tv/BLINDIRL and help keep the stream that you like watching sometimes alive and not dead. Like it's been this past week. What's up, Axon? How you doing? Hope things is good. How was the test? I'm assuming it's over now? How was the final? All right, Dwarf successfully quarantined. We'll figure out what to do with you later. Well, I mean, I assumed you'd take... Don't... Grumble. Suspend that. Don't you just love the chief medical dwarf ass walking in there carrying their child in with a rare creature? They don't stop coming? Hit L on the for the location screen, Ned Flanders. Select all of your buildings and set them to citizens and long-term residents only. And then visitors will stop coming. Unless you want more dead visitors for the comedy, in which case then I'll let them keep coming. But that's how you stop them from showing up. Good day so far? How'd you do on the test? Feeling good about it? Hope that... Hello, stupid. How was yours? Yes. The only investment advice I give on this channel is you should invest in twitch.tv/BLINDIRL, where you will get no returns except for more of the same. I'm a very convincing Sales pitch person, as you can tell. This is clearly why I work in streaming and not sales. Construct building. Waiting to hear back from interviews is painful. Yeah, been there. Not fun. How long have you been waiting, Pink? Pink's gonna be like, I just sent in the application just now. Or I just finished the interview 10 minutes ago. My advice would be distract yourself. God damn it! Where Creature Dwarf is like now going for a walk. Dude, I need you to go back to where you were previous. I mean, my investing advice is give me your money, and then I'll invest it in groceries. That's my investing advice. All right. I didn't want to do this, Dwarf, but I'm going to do this the easy way. I'm just going to expel you. Maybe you'll show up later. Sorry, Dwarf. Didn't want to expel you, but I'm going to expel you. It's just easier for me that way. And also, it looks like we are mostly done. With channeling, so that's cool. Hey, Rolf, what up? I am in the process of trying to make this into a lava moat, but that's proving to be very difficult. I'm waiting for all of this water to evaporate, but it's being very slow because the fortress is running very slow. You'd hear back within a week? 4 days since the interview? Well, you got 2 more days, basically. Because I'm assuming they mean within the work week, right? So you got 2 more days, basically. Well, I hope you hear back with your results soon. Because, yeah, I agree. That shit sucks. This is confusing because it does look like the water is flowing. The refresh box button is going to break soon. How about instead of clicking the refresh box, you click those instead? Because that will never break and is always there for you to click. I'm also replanting my garden and cookie clicker hole up. It's going all right. When did I say that I wasn't a fan of cookie clicker-like games? What? I hate them. They're terrible. Garbage video game. But sometimes you have to channel your inner Oscar the Grouch and enjoy some garbage. I'm no stranger to enjoying some garbage. Heck, I'll even listen to the band Garbage sometimes. One of my favorite games ever, writing-wise, actually, is a clicker, which is Space Plan. Love Space Plan. Also played Universal Paperclips, and, I don't know. I've played quite a few clickers over the years. I don't go out of my way to play clickers, but I like them. They're fun. No, I don't actually. I'm kind of perplexed as to where you got that information or where I said that because I don't recall ever saying that, so I would say I don't fully understand your confusion. Do you ever really play clickers though? No, I like a well-made clicker. There's just not a lot of very good clickers. Like, Cookie Clicker is fantastic. Space Plan is fantastic. Adventure Capitalist is horrible. Depends on the clicker. Just like anything. Yeah, I don't want to stream a clicker. But I'm not streaming a clicker. I'm ironically tabbing over to Cookie Clicker to make a visual joke. But yes, I do have Cookie Clicker running. I would also tell you that I hate theme park games, yet I have thousands of hours in Roller Coaster Tycoon. Do I hate theme park games? No, I just think that there's a lot of really bad theme park games out there. I actually really like theme park games, in fact. Don't you have something that you love to hate? I mean, I'm not very good at language. I can tell you that. Try talking to people in real life and they tend to just walk away from me, silently staring at me funny. I'm all right at it in real life, in video games and on the internet, but in real life, I'm really bad at communicating. At this point, we're just waiting for the water to drain. But I'm also like weirdly convinced that there's a spot of aquifer on here somewhere that's keeping it from draining. So, kind of annoyed by that. Can't really pour water on it. Or I can't really pour lava on it. Because that'll just make it keep filling indefinitely. Don't really know what to do. Chat, what do you think? Should we keep fiddling with this or should we just retire it and start a new fort? Just open question to you guys. Because I do like this fortress and I'm quite happy with it as is. I mean, we have the very satisfied, cool-looking water boat. What do you think? I'm not going to reoccupy. I mean, reoccupying this fort is not possible. And the reason is because all of this down here will be flooded if I reoccupy it. Because it will put all the water on different layers, and this will all be flooded. I mean, like, we're still in spring. I've been playing for 3.5 hours, and we're still in spring. We haven't even cleared a whole season yet. So it hasn't even been 3 months in game because of how slowly this fort is running. So, I mean, we could probably come back here in adventure mode, but I won't ever reclaim this fort, so. All right, chat. I think that Uniontheater, you were a good fortress. You beautiful little fort. You deserve a salute. I'm going to miss you. Because I like this layout. I really, really, really like the layouts of this fort. I'm actually going to take a couple screenshots of it. Maybe put them on Reddit or something. Even though that it had like maybe the most obnoxious entrance I've ever built to a fortress. I enjoyed this one. This one was fun. Goodbye, Uniontheater. Salute. Retire for the time being. Your fortress has settled into the rhythm of day-to-day living,